Oh, good fucking Lord, guys. Welcome in. Happy fucking Monday. Sorry, I was jamming to the song. I almost wanted to just keep listening to it. I mean, it's time to do a restart of the world. Maybe something will change for the better. Can we throw somebody into like a cage with a gorilla again and maybe reset the timeline? Is that a possibility? Can we do that? Can we do that? No? I'm being told no. I'm being told that's ethically dubious. Since when have I cared about it? No, I'm kidding. I care about ethics. I care about ethics. Unfortunately, I care about ethics, which also makes me a better person. Also, hold on. I need to reset because the eyes are like I'm actually sitting straight up, and for some reason the head is like tilted back and to the side. Hi, Flo. How are you doing? Maybe we need to throw a gorilla into a kid's cage. Is there a kid's cage? Is that a daycare? Also, good luck picking up a gorilla. Do you really want to pick up a gorilla? Is that really a good idea? I'm very tired. Welcome to Monday. I was very tired this morning too for some reason. I did not want to get up. I usually wake up like before my alarm. At least it could be anywhere from literally like a couple minutes before my alarm to 30 minutes before my alarm.
Making a mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Hi, Donkler. David Armstrong. Listen, it happens every time, almost every time at the beginning of stream, especially when Ordain's here. And Ordain has a 65 stream streak, so I don't think Ordain's going anywhere. I don't think which makes me feel bad because if on the weekend I end up having time now, if like nobody's home or something, I may do a gorilla stream, and who knows, Ordain may be asleep. Ordain could put. Hi, Sizzle. Jay Sizzle, what are you doing? Tortellini. I like tortellini. I just like pasta. I'm very food motivated. I like food. It's why I go to the gym 4 days a week so I can eat what food I want. Tortellini fund. Thank you for the 100 bits. Holy shit. I'm gonna try and catch the streakers. Not the streakers. Oh yes, they call him the streak. Fastest thing on 2 feet. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But this has been one hell of a weekend, chat. Has anybody been on Twitter in the past 72 hours? It's fresh hell out here. We're not going to talk about it in detail, mainly because while I care in the sense of like, I want to know things because I'm a fucking nerd like that, I actually do not care about these people. I do not. Aside from the fact that I was proven right. I have been vindicated. I've been vindicated in the bad taste that a certain someone left in my mouth and had no strong real reason for it. And now I'm right. I am right. I was like, this is like high school mean girl shit. I don't want to be involved with any of these people. I hate them. Don't like it. Ain't no way. New record wiggle? What do you mean? Oh. But can we laugh at them? Oh, you can absolutely laugh at them. In fact, I encourage it. You should absolutely laugh at them. Because it is hilarious. Because they are stupid. And think that people are stupider than they are if they think that they could get away with the apology that they gave. Because that shit is ridiculous. Absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. They tried to pull an Elon. I don't know if it's an Elon. Well, thank you for the self-care. I'm just waiting and I'm hoping they do this. I could actually message my rep because my rep is technically the head of creator support. So I could message him and ask him if GamerSupps is planning on doing anything against them. There's actually 2 VTubers that I'm curious if GamerSupps is going to drop. But right now it's I already threw out the flavor they gave me. I threw that out. I think it was Friday morning before stream. I think I mentioned that on Friday. Not Friday, Thursday. Mentioned it on Thursday. The Hound, because I have been bombarded with reels about it. Yep. What should I Google to figure out what happened? Do you still have your Twitter? You can just go on Twitter and probably find it. Also, apparently Matara, as of this morning, is splitting from VShojo, so that's also interesting. You know what this means, chat? Means that the top of the VTuber sphere is hollowing itself out, which means there's space. There's space, baby. To the fucking moon. Let's go. I do too. I don't really comment on a lot of that stuff aside from like the ambiguous thing that I posted that was like, you ever get the feeling of like somebody rubs you the wrong way, but you can't quite put your finger on it? You don't know what the reason is, but you do not like this person. And then suddenly they finally do something that like exposes them to everyone, and you're like, I knew it. There it is. I knew it. Yeah, that was that moment with the Hound. That was my moment with the Hound. It's time to steal the moon. One less VTuber, baby. One less VTuber. Who lost his mind over 3 seconds of a woman in a trailer for Doom: The Dark Ages? What? Isn't one of the doctors in the new Doom franchise a woman? Also, has Doom Dark Ages come out yet? I don't think it has. I don't think it has, right? Oh, right? Yay or nay? Yay or nay? Does anybody know? Speaking of new games, chat. Moiter. Yeah, Moiter, Hollowed. We're going to be committing some... Well, actually, we are not, in fact, going to be committing Moiter. Because we're doing a non-lethal and ghost run in Dishonored. So technically, there's no Moiter. Why do I keep putting Moiter in Mondays? In 2 weeks, yes. Okay. That's what I was thinking. I hadn't seen it come out yet. So... Gatorade better than Gatorade? True. I thought Radio was taking bets for how long before the Hound becomes a right-wing grifter on Kick. Ooh. That's a good question. I wonder too, I'm curious, if she ends up completely disappearing or having to disappear or do something to like salvage her career in some degree, I wonder if this would make her the biggest fall from grace in VTubing? I honestly don't know. Has there been like a tragedy of a fall in like with like Vishojo? Not Vishojo. Vishojo hasn't had any, I don't think. From like Hololive or Niji or anything that they've like left on like negative terms that wasn't negative for like Niji. Does anybody know? Anybody? Any ideas? Might have had bigger. The thing is, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone from any of those industries, unless it's like a Japanese VTuber that I don't know. Kason didn't leave on bad terms. Kason left Hololive because they wouldn't let her do the shit that she wanted to. Zion from Niji? Zion. Niji, Zion. Lanza? Zion Lanza? Ooh, okay, let's see. There's a section on retirement. Let's see. Cover song. Suspended after repeated misconduct, saying that Zion had compliance issues since debut. Was she the one that was like leaking like company secrets? Despite being suspended for repeatedly infringing on her contract and the agency's internal rules, Zion's behavior and understanding of the rules had not improved during the suspension, making it difficult for the company to continue working with her as a liver. On May 5th, the Twitter account graduated indie talent Sayu Okami released a statement on Twitlonger and Google Docs regarding the situation, gave Zion's side of what happened while providing pieces of evidence with some remaining withheld due to legal reasons. Currently not confirmed if the talents behind Sayu and Zion are the same person, as current and former talents are prohibited from revealing their identities outside the company publicly. Sayu rejects their connection. Okay, that's it. There's not a whole lot of information. Maybe NamuWiki will have more. Expulsion, maybe? There's a section on expulsion. Wow, this person literally archived her chat rules into this wiki page. Live broadcast archives are often kept private. Ultimately, all activity was temporarily suspended on February 8th, 2023. Reason repeated cheating, which had been consistently pointed out since debut for comments without the will to improve and spreading false facts / discrepancies between what was communicated to the management and reality / overuse of jokes that are unacceptable in Niji Sanji led to the decision to temporarily suspend activities. It is said to be a reason. In addition, it was revealed that the situation was more serious, such as trying to leak internal information through a back account or liking tweets defaming Niji Sanji, and when there was no improvement, they were eventually expelled from Niji Sanji EN. In addition to the 11 reasons disclosed in the contract termination notice, it is said that there were many other violations of contracts and regulations. A number of writers have graduated and been expelled from Niji Sanji so far, but it is extremely rare for the reason for contract termination to be fully disclosed to the extent making a hot topic within the fandom. You don't archive chat rules? Sunstar, are you admitting to something? Okay. 11 reasons that were disclosed for this person's firing. 1, use of copyrighted songs in your own broadcast without prior permission. 2, disclosure of potentially disturbing inside information to stakeholders during a broadcast. 3, during the period of suspension, internal information was leaked using personal operated social media accounts. 4, making insulting comments about racism and sexual violence. 5, violation of the rules related to the use of the game defined by AnyColor and falsely explaining the matter to AnyColor. If anybody doesn't know, AnyColor is the Niji Sanji parent company. 6, expressing intention to use illegal games in a personal broadcast. 7, during the broadcast, they made remarks that could be interpreted as offensive to the owner of game rights, aka the copyright holder. 8, dissemination of false information about communications from AnyColor to other Niji Sanji drivers. 9, when a viewer pointed out that Zion had broken the rules, he falsely claimed to have obtained permission from AnyColor. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure this was a girl, but for some reason this entire wiki page uses he, him pronouns for Zion. Wait, is it a guy? Is it a guy? Did I miss that this entire time? Was it a guy? I thought it was a girl too, but then I scrolled down and there's like a lineup of the generation and like half of them look masculine and half of them are feminine. And one of them definitely has boobs, but it's not Zion. Let's see. 10, falsely claiming to be sponsored by a particular brand while on air. 11, using a personally operated social media account like an article slandering Niji Sanji Liber or AnyColor. 12, in addition to this, a number of contractual provisions were violated. One of the many reasons, as exposed by another Niji Liver, was, quote, reporting to the management team other than the facts. Is a matter related to him, and when Zion asked for help, it is said that he told a double lie by saying that he did what Panana told him to do. Well, he did not act according to the advice of all, though he gave him sincere advice. Panana expressed the disappointment directly to the point of expressing that she was gaslighted. And then the article, and then this whole wiki page basically ends after that. It just ends. I've never heard of Namu Wiki, but I mean, I guess it's had more details in it technically. I think Maren was saying about getting weird vibes. They get them off Nux like it's a fucking gamer. Listen, the thing is with Nux, Nux has shown time and time again why he's a piece of shit. Because he's a grifter. He had to become a grifter to survive. And now he refuses to admit that's what he is, but he is. He is through and through. And there's some things I know behind the scenes when it comes to a couple other people. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it because technically I could probably get sued for saying it. So I'm just not. The fuck is a grifter? Someone who has, in the case of like Nux, who does heinous things and has heinous views for the sole purpose of getting attention and views. They give grifted subs. What are grifted subs? Yeah, Niji did co-ed Generations. I do remember that. But, sorry, I was also just looking at one of the things that was in the side panel, and that's Sunny Explosion's old character from Niji that I had essentially completely forgotten existed. I had completely forgotten she existed. Good, cool looking character though. Very much looks like a Monster Hunter character. Very cute. Very cute. Ooh, like Drama Alert? Yes, exactly like Drama Alert. They're like scalpers? Not quite like scalpers, although there probably is some overlap somewhere in there between them. Okay, hold on. Okay. One thing I know for sure about Nux is he falsely claimed a VTuber was grooming and pretty effectively ruined their lives and refused to issue a retraction. He gave like a non-apology, apparently in the, what is it? It's Tyga's, I think is who it was, DMs. And at one point, it was like 2 years afterwards, after the actual apology, Tyga read it aloud on his stream. And even then, it still seems like a nothing apology. Say it isn't so. Yeah, I don't work at a carnival. In short, a convent to mislead, defraud, typically for the purposes of monetary gain. typically for the purposes of monetary gain. The thing with Nux, though, is Nux has always been and obviously is a bad person. Even his own fucking, like, model, or his design for his model, technically, because before he had the moving model, he had a PNG of the same design. It was actually a stolen Sans fan art. The Undertale Sans fan art that he basically stole and turned into his persona. He's also gone around attempting to pay, what was it, $10,000? I think he was going around to like big VTuber streams and big streamer streams and saying he'd give him $10,000 if they said the N-word. And then that's not to mention that he currently has a podcast with one of the, I believe it's, trying to remember. I could check it on YouTube, but I don't think I want to. They do like a podcast with one of the Mythos girls. Actually, I want to get this right, so give me just a second. I think it's Mythos. It's not Hades. Is it Hermes? I don't remember if there's a Hermes. No. Okay, hold on. All right. I would know her if I saw her, so give me just a second. I'm gonna go to their website. I'm gonna go to Mythos's website. Wait, she's not on this homepage. Why isn't she on this homepage? There she is. Okay, it is Hermes. I was right. It's fucking Mythos Hermes. Oh, I didn't realize there was a Hephaestus. I have never seen Hephaestus. I remember when they were debuting this like third line, but yeah, Mythos Hermes does a podcast with Nuxtaku where they kind of do the... Let's say what you expect. Let's just say what you expect. Yeah, Zeus was the one that graduated. I do know that. I just heard one of the best burns of the Hound. She has as much self-reflection as a vampire. Yeah. Wait, that's even funnier. For certain reasons. For certain reasons. But it's even then, like, his... What's the word? His attempt or, like, willingness to grift and or clout chase is insane. I hate him. I hate him as an individual. I hate him as an individual. And it's why I am exceedingly indifferent to some organizations that I know of. Ooh. Sorry, I refreshed the page and... Okay. More things to note down, not to do, as long as it pays the bills. Who needs to be liked? The thing is, his community is a cesspool. Because of his, like, attitude and the shit he's done, the people that are okay with that are, like, the worst kind of people, basically. They're just flat out the worst kind of people to be okay with the content that Nuxtaku continues to make and do and talk about is nuts. Okay, I was looking to see if I could find anything else. Andrew Tate community? Kind of, except Nuxtaku doesn't... I'm pretty sure he doesn't purport to be some, like, macho guy. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he doesn't purport himself to be some macho dude, like, epitome of... Soul Story sounds like idiots finally getting what's coming to them. That's exactly what it is, Flo. That's exactly what it is. Right now, every second video Nux uploads is about how... Yes, exactly. Exactly. And the podcast that he does with Hermes, from what I can tell, is very similar talking points. Which is why there's only one person in Mythos I care about, and that's Apollo. Everybody else can shove it. Everybody else can shove it. But that's because I knew Apollo before. We were mutuals beforehand. No, he's just a douchebag and his personality reflects that. Yeah, he's I don't know what to call it. Is it like high schooler behavior? I think. I feel like that's what it is. It feels like the guy who's not cool but wants to be cool. So he thinks the way to be cool is to be mean to all the people beneath him. I heard the Mythos boys are cool. They seem pretty decent. I have not gotten to have any direct conversations with them. We do share a couple mutual discords, but I have not got to talk to them. Does anyone? I mean, all right, I'm going to do the regrettable thing and go find Nux Taku's channels. Nux Taku. Mind you, this is also a guy who used to only like talk about anime and shit. All right, we got 2 million subs on his main channel, 800 videos, 850k subs on Nuxanor, 400k subs on Nuxcord, 56k on Nuxamore. Some ordinary podcast. Hold on.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudahar.
Shut the fuck up. I swear I've seen the logo for Some Ordinary Podcast, but I don't remember what it is. And these thumbnails are so fucking goofy. It's just the dude's face and then whoever he has on that week. Just staring into the camera. I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm going somewhere else. Now what? No, that's not Nux's voice. That was me opening the Some Ordinary Podcast. No, if y'all want to hear his voice, let me see real quick though. I feel like Nux may have like some producer role or something. Oh yeah, 4 years ago, his most popular video, I donated $1,000 to streamers if they expose their browser history. And the thumbnail is literally Melody asking him to stop. It's literally fucking Melody asking him to stop from Bishoujo. It's time to get that ass. Give me 20, soldier. God damn it. Today was leg day in the niche of animated skeptics. If you could call this dude a skeptic, sure. Sure. He's got a big head for all the big VTubers he interacts with. He thought himself a Bishoujo insider at one point and pissed off every single Bishoujo girl at the time. This was before they were adding people. So this was like the original, what is it, 5? 6? I forget who the original ones were. But this was a couple years ago. And Nux got himself absolutely fucking rocked for it. Oh yeah, he basically thought he was in. He basically thought he was in. And he started making posts and shit. Because there was a I'm trying to remember how it was working. What it was exactly. There was essentially a scam going around of somebody pretending to, like, somebody had like auditioned to join Bishoujo, and they were pretending to be the company, emailing these people and fishing for their information and then swatting them. Yeah, calling him a creep. Yep. No grins, but yeah, it was the situation of somebody was like pretending to be Bishoujo, saying that they had essentially made it through the audition and stuff. And so like tons of people thought like their dream was coming true. So of course they were giving this seemingly real company, thank you for self-care, their like personal information and location. And then this person would swat them. And Nux was like going around talking like he had like insider information, and the company itself, as well as the girls, were like, shut the fuck up, dude. And he went from essentially having like the Bishoujo girls and some of the biggest names in his on his stream to fucking no one, to like immediately being blacklisted by like Bishoujo and losing whatever connections he had with them. But let me see. I want to see what his most recent stuff is. Oh, Jesus Christ. 23 hours ago, I 100% binged Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. It broke me. Followed immediately before his... Okay. Oh, this is the For You section. Okay, so this is 4 months ago. How many videos does this dude make where it's, it broke me? Hellsing Ultimate Abridged is peak fiction 7 days ago. Hellsing Ultimate Abridged just blew my mind 4 days ago. 100% blind reaction to the Gaslight District. It broke me. Six days ago, he has a video that's just Donald in all caps, followed by 3 question marks. And the picture is a king from Adventure Time, and then it has all 7 swing states. I don't know what this is. Is he metaphoring his way to talking about politics? No, okay, no, he's actually watching Adventure Time. Watch one Abridged series and milk it for a week. It's like spread out through like 2 weeks. Actually, it's spread out through 1 week. Not 2 weeks. There's one 9 days ago. Abridged actually broke my heart. 9 days ago. 12 days ago, Hellsing Abridged is on another fucking level. 2 weeks ago, Alexander Anderson is the absolute GOAT. Hellsing Abridged. Hellsing Abridged just destroyed me another 2 weeks ago. Still 2 weeks ago, Hellsing Ultimate Abridged is 100% chaos. Hellsing Ultimate Abridged just blew my fucking mind 3 weeks ago. Another 3 weeks ago, 100% blind reaction to Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. It broke me. And that's basically where it ends. And then before that, it looks like it's Sword Art Online Abridged. Then he watched Solo Leveling. And then he watched... what is this? What is this? God, there's so much fucking Sword Art Online. And drank milk. It broke me? Yeah, pretty fucking much. Yeah, but like, hold on, chat. I'm actually going to show you this because this is annoying. Give me just a second. It's all the same. It's the what the fuck, the what the fuck, 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 what the fuck. This dude is lazy as it comes. And he milked I think it's 12 episode Abridged series for fucking 3 weeks. 3 weeks, dude. The content after he's done milking it. It's all of them. It's all of them. It broke me. Like, I don't believe this dude has a heart to break. So, you know. A single fucking original thought in his head? No. I promise you he does not. I promise you he does not. Because, like, what is it? Like, what is the obsession with Adventure Time for some reason? And the thing is, too, is the lengths of his videos differ quite a bit. Like, these are 20 to 40-minute videos. Why Adeptus Custodes are the perfect overpowered soldiers. Please tell me he doesn't think the Imperium of Man is the good guys in 40K. Also, what is up with these, like, white backgrounds? I feel like he's basically like, these are different editors essentially making these things out of the same content. And these thumbnails are the different editors. 'Cause like, what the fuck? What is up with these solid color backgrounds with, it's not Arial. I don't know that font off the top of my head. If he needs multiple editors because they're all fed up with his shit. It's probably so that they basically make the same. Oh, okay. This is the one that showed up to me that I was like, how many of these that are you going to have? It broke me. And here's fucking mouth washing. 100% blind reaction to League of Legends full official timeline. It's incredible. I'm sure it is. What is this Sonic thing? To Eggman's full story and lore. Okay. 100% blind reaction to Me-Side full story and lore. It broke me. The thing too is, I think he's watching someone play. I don't think he's actually playing the game himself. I don't know for sure. Because the fact that it's full story and lore makes me think that he's watching like a full breakdown video instead of... Nuxnor's about to fucking break me. Oh my god. But hold on, let me see if I can find Let's go back to the home thing real quick. And you can see his like other channels down here. So like, if I'm correctly, I think Nuxnor was actually his first channel. Okay, we'll start with the smaller one. So this is a shorts channel. Okay. So to play the algorithm a little better, these are like all of his like much shorter clips. I hate this. Also, hi Berserk, thank you for doing your season pass. Holy shit. What is this? Oh. Okay. Reminds me of childhood memories. All right. Yeah. It's legal the first time. What? But yeah, this is, oh my God, it's all don't laugh. It's all Discord don't laugh. Why? Why? That's boobs. Fuck that. And then this was the, one hour ago. Let's see here. Wait, that's... Okay, yeah, this was supposedly his original channel. This is the Nuxnor channel. 2 vids a day. 2! Are you nuts, dude? Are you insane? How many editors do you have working on this? Okay. So yeah, his Nuxnor channel has just turned into a... I wanted to see if this was the podcast thing that he was doing with Hermes, but now I don't remember where it is. Let me see if I can find it. No, he only tags back to his larger channel. Yeah. I feel like he doesn't pay his editors. I couldn't tell you. I think he does. I think he at least pays well enough that people are willing to do it. I'm actually, oh Jesus, I don't want to click it, but hold on. Let me see if I can, private window. Shut the fuck up. What the fuck did I just click? Shut your fucking mouth. Does he credit his editors? Credits. That is his rigger and his model artist. There is no editor in here. There's no editor in here. So maybe he edits it himself? I don't know. Gentleman jump scare? Fuck that. Think of your suggested. That's why I did the private window. It doesn't have me signed in. It does not have me signed in. Oh, okay. There's a video down here of I got streamers to dub fucked up anime scenes. I see Fillion. I see Hades. Then there's 2 others I don't recognize. I think one is like one of the tiny rabbit VTubers, and the other one is that penguin VTuber. So he seems to only be able to get, let's just say VTubers he pays or VTubers that are already problematic. Let me see if I can search. Oh, there's a search thing here. What if I put in VTuber? And I'd look at the thumbnails. That's nitrogen. I tricked VTubers into taking 5th grade exams. I showed Big X every VTuber drama. Yeah, see, there's the dub one I was talking about. I haven't seen Nux in ages. Hi, Wolf. We're taking the piss, basically. We're taking the piss with shitty people outside of the current drama. Yes, here's his 2-year-old video about my VTuber drama. Like, his thumbnail kind of nailed it. His thumbnail nailed it. It's just he's fucking smug about it. Toxic drama train? Sure. But if y'all can't see it, it goes, we're gonna go counterclockwise. Racist clout chaser, bad person, wouldn't smash, Ratio, manipulative, liar, transphobic, kind of hot, what? Cruel. Is drowned out the old drama. Yeah, that's how it works, right? I force streamers to try extreme Japanese game shows. Oh no, Stella. Okay, something makes sense now. Something makes sense now. I donated $1,000 to hiding streamers? Huh? He spent $10,000 on his model? My entire cost, I don't think, well, no, not quite. Not quite $10,000 for everything. And he got that shitty ass model for $10,000. I think it's because he got Iron Vertex to rig it when Iron Vertex was still early. Velma conspiracy. I made Andrew Tate debate 6 VTubers. I'll debate Andrew Tate. I'll debate the shit out of Andrew Tate. I don't give a fuck about that titty-having motherfucker. Drug addict, sex trafficking, piece of shit. I don't care. I'd do it. It'd be funny. Although I feel like Nuxtaku probably edits the shit out of his videos so it looks like the VTubers lose. Granted. I don't know who the one in the bottom left is there, that one with the dark hair. I know Chibi, I can't remember his name. He's like basically like a Wukong VTuber. I know he's pretty popular, but I've seen what kind of stuff he makes. He's not exactly. It ends with human trafficking is wrong. Correct. Kinji, that's it. Yes, Kinji. He's pretty funny, but like his whole thing is being funny. That's his shtick. Death Battle Reacts, Dungeon Soup, whatever that is. Solo Leveling Reacts. Yeah, okay. I confronted VTubers with their old cursed tweets. How many of them do you think these cursed tweets are like subathon goals where it's like chat gets to make a tweet? 100% blind react to Diddy leveling. I don't know what Diddy leveling is. What is Diddy leveling? Yeah, it's Marin song number 3. Hi, Grins. I know you've been here the whole time. I just want to say hi. I showed cursed VTuber clips to wholesome VTubers. I created a game show designed to invade your privacy. Mythos, Feifei, Chibi, and somebody I don't know. So this is the original Mythos trio, and it's from a year ago, so it was probably before they even added any of the other ones. Hi, Broth, how are you doing? Here, let me just... Hey, Cope Champ. Insane. 2 years ago. Is that girl DM? It is girl. Wait. Oh no, not Noir. Yeah, this was 2 years ago was basically the point before everything hit the fan. But, oh shit, I hit space. 4 years ago, it's over. Is he gonna pretend like he was dating Melody? See, this is his PNG, if you can tell in the fucking thumbnail. This is back when he was only a PNG. Thank you for the 500 bits. Holy shit, Oz. For Good Monday. All right, 500 bits is enough to get me off this fucking topic. I'm tired of looking at Nux. But chat, there's something else I wanted to talk about. If you weren't in the Discord this morning, we were talking about the movie The Electric State. And you can already see in the short over here, there's Mr. Peanut for some reason. Yeah, Broth, we're moving on from it though, so don't worry about it. Yeah, so there was a talk in there, and I already knew this movie was going to be bad from the start, and I talked about it once. But, get this song out of here. I want to show y'all the trailer. Oh, I do. Oh, that means I owe y'all 40 squats. All right, I'm going to let the trailer play, and I'll probably talk about it, but I got to do 40 squats now because I still owe Ordain the other 20. All right, let's do this. Actually, before we go into the trailer, I'm going to explain really quick, you guys. If y'all don't know what the Electric State is originally a art book. Oh goodness, sorry. Is originally an art book based in like a kind of not like post-apocalyptic, but like early era period. Or I don't know why I said it like that. Early 50s, 60s, 70s kind of time. Where they have essentially like a bunch of hyper technology and stuff. It was a very good book. It was very cool. It had like a lot of like storytelling just within its art pages. And then Netflix decided that they wanted to buy the properties and make a movie out of it. And you know what Netflix does when they make a movie out of a thing, right? I'm gonna let that question hang in the air and let y'all think about it while I play the trailer. And then I will explain what they did with it. If you don't get it from the trailer, you probably will. It's very understandable where they went wrong. Step 1, Chris Pratt. Anyway, squat time. Yeah, kind of rape punk. Hey, it's Seattle.
Right now, all of us have something in common. We all lost something after the rebellion.
Still don't know what the rebellion is in this case. That's also another thing that I don't think is covered in the art book that they just made up for this.
Robots lost their freedom.
1920.
Humans lost
yes, the
connection with
helmets.
each other.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
And I lost everyone I loved.
1, 2. Oh Jesus.
Or so I thought.
3, 4,
So you want to go get your brother back?
6.
I'll go with you.
Someday you will find me company.
Oh yes, the Russo brothers. Nice band. All right.
In a champagne supernova.
Sure. The Gray Man. What is the Gray Man?
I'm sorry.
All right.
Can't change the way things are. Watch me.
Fucking Mr. Peanuts. Seriously?
Get ready.
You ready for what now?
For what now?
Clem, get us out of here!
Is that a fridge?
Hold on! Who throws a fridge? Son of a...
Bunch of YouTube shorts about this? Yeah. Because it's very easy to explain where it went wrong. Because this movie was terrible. We're gonna ignore the fact that they've decided to cast Chris Pratt in this, but let me see if I can find the original. Oh, I did not mean to hit that Y. I fat fingered the Y. So like, this is basically what the original books looked like. It was essentially like storytelling via art that was supposed to be like implied. It was supposed to be understood. Like, here's also the helmets that they, for some reason, recolored for the movie. Oh yeah, that's because it came out and it fucking flopped. Watch it for a Discord movie night. I could see if it's on my Plex, but I will not pay money for this movie. If you can't tell where they went wrong with this, it's already bad from the start because they gave it a story. They tried to make a average Disney fucking plot, a like, we gotta go save someone. And it seems like they put some sort of corporation in it, I guess is what that guy was on the monitor. And let me see real quick. Cast. Go back. Stanley Tucci. The character that looked like Stanley Tucci was playing, I guess was probably like the main villain of some kind. And put their own spin on it. Yep. And they missed the plot. They missed what made the Electric State enjoyable as an art book and what like essentially energized people's minds and drew them towards it. It was the basic screenplay, not screenplay. It was the basic art. It was the story through images, a still glimpse into what the world had like and what it had become that made it interesting, that made it fun. But what's the other one? Tales from the Loop? Tales from the Loop. So if y'all don't know this one, Tales from the Loop actually did a better job at this. They actually did quite a bit better job. This is also done by the exact same artist. The screenplay brought Chris Pratt to tears. Chris Pratt can suck my ass. Sounds like they do 99% of the time. Exactly. Exactly. They're basic. The writers have this, whatever reason, Netflix writers seem to have this overly elementary level of like writing a story, of essentially along the lines of they learned how to write a story basically. Have an intro, have the general body, hit your climax, and then resolve it. And that's what it is every time to their minds. So they have to generate a story that has all of those things as opposed to what's climaxing, not you. I still hate them from what they did to The Witcher. Yep. But yeah, Tales from the Loop was also a very, very cool story. If y'all don't know what the Tales from the Loop is, it's essentially a story of the location around a super collider, which if you kind of see these pillars in the back, those are the cooling towers for the super collider. And it essentially causes very, very strange happenings, which is also, Prime actually has a series on it that's apparently pretty decent. It's apparently much better. It came out last month, it looks like. It was either last month or it was a year and a month ago. I can't remember. Oh, wait, no, it's still April this month. It came out this month. But it's a very cool, if you've never seen, what's his name? His name was just here a second ago. Simon Stellenhog. He does a lot of art books like this and stuff. And you can find a lot of the art around the internet. But they are very cool. They are so neat. Made a video a few weeks ago that explains why Netflix keeps doing this shit. It's the, I don't know if Adam Conover talked about this being the reason, but the reason is it's to get people to watch. If y'all heard me talk about first monitor versus second monitor content, this is also a thing that Netflix has come to realize is they have given up on making first monitor content. They've stopped making movies that is something that you have to focus on and grasp and take in. And they are instead making movies that you can fully comprehend and understand while like phasing in and out. While like occasionally looking to listen to or watch a movie while doing something else. They don't do visual storytelling anymore. They do auditory storytelling where the fucking characters on the screen will constantly talk about what they're doing and or remind the viewer what's happening prior. So you just end up with these slot movies that are telling you the story as it's happening and how you're supposed to feel. With no substance. They don't care that the movie is shit. They care that the brand can push it. I'm trying to remember there was a movie that came out that was, let me see, Netflix. I am in all caps. Netflix top movies. It's not Havoc. There was a movie. It was like a romance movie, I think, that came out. No, I don't recognize any of these. It was a one-word like romance movie that came out recently, and it's been Netflix's like best movie ever, but it's because it's slop. It's because you don't need to watch and engage with it to understand what's happening. So most people are just turning on movies and then just leaving them running. And Netflix considers that a success. Is it called Yes? I don't think so. So do we blame Netflix? Netflix. It's Netflix and, of course, the average population of the way that they engage with media is they kind of don't. They kind of don't engage with media. Kids these days are the uneducated. It's not quite kids these days because it crosses demographics. Tree zombies? I don't think so. Here, let's see if this will let me view it without being signed in. Fun fact, I actually had a family member that worked at the building that got bombed on the day in Oklahoma City. My aunt worked in that building, and the only reason she wasn't there was because my cousin was being a fussy little baby, and she had to stay home to take care of her. So, thank God. What the fuck? What is up with these Boss Baby, Despicable Me minions? Despicable Me 4? Croods? Rise of the Guardians, though. Rise of the Guardians is actually kind of a surprise. But, like... Okay, I guess. I guess. There'll be a group that hate what you make either way. Why listen to them at all? Probably some corp mindset. Yeah. I'll never forgive Netflix for removing Danny Phantom. I'm pretty sure that was what's his name, the creator of it, that like pulled a bitch fit and they had to pull it. Something like that. I don't remember exactly. Let me really quick though make sure I have words on stream open for y'all. While I see if I can find this fucking thing. Maybe it was Havoc. I don't think it was. I could have swore it was a romance. I don't think it's you. But yeah, it's also the thing with Havoc is the #1 movie that's advertised on Netflix right now. So it's always at the forefront. It's the first thing people see, and they see what's his name's face. Let me see. Let's go back real quick. IMDb. Tom Hardy just being like front and center for this movie is a good face for an action movie. Butch Hartman meltdown. This is shit stain. Yeah. Stuff parents leave on the TV to distract kids. Exactly. But that's the thing, is most of the stuff that Netflix is releasing is meant to be background noise, second monitor content, if you want to call it that. It's basically just that. They're starting to realize that they can make second monitor content with movies that are half-assed written, half-assed made, because most people aren't actively engaging with it and watching it to call them out. Actually a family member was watching this last night and they couldn't even finish it. He was trying to find something to entertain himself and he made it about 45 minutes in before he told me he got bored and turned it off. Because it's apparently not even, like, it's kind of a good action movie, but it's not fun to watch. Even with, what's his name? Where is he? Yeah, Forrest Whitaker. I'm terrible at fucking actors' names, guys. I always have to, like, go and look them up. Because I'll remember, like, a movie they're in, and I'll be like, who's the dude with the kind of limpy face in Havoc? I don't know. Honestly, I thought last night he was Lawrence Fishburne, but I know that wasn't right. Because I know what Lawrence Fishburne looks like. Fishburne. All right. Real quick, guys. We are going to swap on over to this. And then I need to run to the bathroom because I need to pee because y'all keep giving me self-cares. I don't watch a ton of movies, mostly because the stories are always the same style. Half of all the stories have a trigger in it because all the movies have so... I enjoy the ones less story and more action-y things. Like Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, Kevin Hart. Yeah, I know them off the top of my head. Is it The Gorge? I remember there was a lot of movies about it when it came out. The Gorge is the bio, like, horror one, right? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it's like the bio horror one. How Snow White flopped? I'm not fucking surprised. Making an action movie boring is a crime. It's just like the Disney remakes, the Disney live action remakes are not going to do well. They never will. They're never going to appeal to kids in the way, and they're not going to appeal to the nostalgia factor that people that saw the original animated movies are going to go watch them. I don't think I've ever seen The Kissing Booth. I've never seen The Kissing Booth, I'm pretty sure. Lower than DBZ Evolution? That's impressive. All right, guys, I'm going to be back in a couple minutes. I got to run to the bathroom. Okie dokie. All right, chat. Let's see. My neck broken? No, we're good. Well, mostly good. I still need to, let's just, that'll do. That'll do. Oh, my mobile decided to shit itself. That sounds like Twitch mobile. That sounds like Twitch mobile through and through. All right. Let me go ahead and put this away. We're actually going to swing back to the chatting screen. Bah. But I want to see what's going on over on, regrettably, Twitter's trending, and we're not going to talk about VTubers. Seems like Twitch on my mobile decided to shut stuff free. Welcome back, guys. Let me turn the music down. I forgot to do that. There we go. There we go. That's more like it. All right. Let me see. Apparently, and I wish I was joking. What the fuck? What the fuck? Gestapo is trending, chats. And apparently, when I clicked this, one of the things at the top of people is Ottawa Gestapo. All right, Canadians, time to explain. Care to explain? Okay. What do you mean, I know I just got here, but I'm gonna head out to go and find it if I found out if I have finally got... Hell yeah! Good luck, Ghost. Good luck. I believe in you. Wait. Federal judge determined that a 2-year-old U.S. citizen was deported with no meaningful process after the Trump administration removed her mother, and her sister from New Orleans. Huh? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Otherwise, it's Floridian. I do not know. Yeah. We're in unprecedented times. Too bad they've been precedented once before, nerd. Yeah. Paris? Okay. Can't wait to move out of this country. Tell me about it. Yep, I'm not terrified about being deported. The worst thing is, too, is you could just get deported to just wherever they want to send you. Wherever they determine you are apparently from is where you will get sent. You're not going back to any sort of home country. You just kind of playing the governmental lottery to see where they're going to send you. Let's just cross his fingers. Please, no, I almost said not. Please be Belize. Please be Belize. Please be Belize. It's not going to be Belize. I promise you, it's not going to be Belize. To the North Pole you go. Wherever they'll pay. Yeah, wherever they'll pay to have you. The 2-year-olds at El Salvador prison camps. I don't know. I haven't seen information on where they sent this child. Age 2, 4, and 7 from Louisiana. One had metastatic cancer and was deported without medication. One mother was pregnant. And reports from America's Voice and Rolling Stone confirmed families were held incommunicado, denied legal access, and deported before court action. This has sparked criticism for violating due process and human rights. Yeah, they're selling citizens to other countries. Isn't that... It's fucking awful, is what it is. My earbuds charged. Gotta wait for the earbuds to charge. Amazing. Wait, what? Prosecuting 2 people because they demanded you have a warrant? With felony obstruction charges? That's insane. That's actually, one, stupid and insane. Me just chilling in the Netherlands? Hell yeah, you already won the lottery, Gordane. They'll say they're administrative errors. My fucking ass. When you call them an administrative error and then actively fight to say, no, we're right. It's not an administrative error anymore. It's racism. Ba-ba-ba-bum. All right, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. There's everything else is just the repeat. But yeah, I just wanted to see what was on the trending section, and I saw a very suspicious word. So I think we are practically done with this nonsense. Is it Pimps Up or is it Pimps Up? Is this like Bird Up? It's like Bird Up. Chat Bird Up. But yeah, that's basically all I'm gonna look at today. There's okay. Everybody's saying donate Cinder merch. That's amazing. I like that. But it's also somebody just said donate like your Cinder gamer subs to food shelters. But if they're already open, they won't take them. And if they do, that's really fucking weird. It's sup, pimp. You got it, pimp. Done? No, comrade ring leader has only begun, apparently. Apparently. But I think we're just gonna... I think we're just gonna go ahead and get into Dishonored shortly. Sorry, I'm also scrolling through the thing to see. Nice. All right. Yeah, I think we're good on this. Is that a condom? What the fuck? Oh, okay. It's somebody learning how to do certain effects with ASMR, so they put a condom over their mic. Why? Why? What effect does that give? I'm going to burn something. Go ahead. Go have fun, champ. I believe in you. All right. We will... Okay, yeah, we're done. We are done here. We're going to move on to Dishonored. I am not going to put y'all through any more suffering since we already yapped for an hour. And let me go ahead and change the category. I believe the last time we played, we were about to go into... Oh, what was it? The mansion? I think is what it was, right? Uh-oh. 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 What the fuck? That ain't right. Hold on a second. No, stop. What the shit did it just do? Jesus, Peter fucking Christ. Task manager. What the fuck is happening? In task. Kill it. Kill it with fucking fire, dude. What the shit was that? No, it's fucking Dishonored 2 is trying to open, but it looks like it's trying to open at like fucking like 35, 50 by something. And it's like constantly reloading the fucking resolution on my monitors and not working properly. I don't know why. Okay, hold on. I'm going to click it. I'm not going to touch anything because I think I tried to do this before. Nope, it just did it again. Why? Why are you doing this? Here, I'll have to probably go change the graphic settings in a second because I do not know why it's doing this shit. Skip. Skip. Oh my god, I can't skip. I can't skip. Why can't I skip? Ugh. Options. Visuals. 1920 by 1080. What the fuck is happening? Jesus. Jesus. Orderless. Second monitor. Holy shit. No skipping, we watched all the game thingies. Dishonored your resolution. Apparently, I don't know why it changed. I genuinely do not know why it changed. Let me go check. Wait, what did that say? Auto use mana elixirs? No. Kill cam. Normal. Okay, everything else is fine. Everything else is fine. And also, I just realized something. This shit is fucking busted. All right, give me a second. Give me a second. Because it fucked up the graphics, I have to do this annoying thing. There we go. There we go. Okay. We're fine. We're fine. All right, let's swing over to the full screen. And then we can already have it captured. Nice. Nice. No more music. And we'll go back to the game. Can I hear everything? Okay. Continue. Carnival's actually supposed to show all the made by cutscenes at the start of shows, but Baron skips them all? What do you mean? I have my credits. Wait a second. Mission 4. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Heavy pouch. Don't mind if I do. Note from Megan. Dr. Hypatia needed a place to sleep, so I cleared the stuff out of the spare cabin. I was able to sell most of it. Here's what's left of the money. It's not a lot, I know. Whale oil is expensive and under Imperial rationing decree, but you know that. Have we already read that? I think we did. Also, now I want to replay Dishonored 2. Everybody should play Dishonored 2, because then maybe we'll get a Dishonored 3. Mayhaps.
Is it really possible the good doctor didn't know she was the crown killer? You
Very
might
possible.
want to talk to Hypatia before we head out. She's taken one of the rooms, just for a while, I think. Needed to be away from Admire.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, lag. Hello?
Oh, you're...
The thing is, I think I've killed her in every one of my other playthroughs of this game, so I've never got to talk to her.
Help me. I need to find Anton Sokolov.
You should go play them, Ordained. They're fucking fantastic.
My memories are disjointed.
Yeah, that
the
makes
Duke
sense.
is close to his grand inventor.
That does, in fact,
Kiran
make
Jindosh.
sense.
But that man has the empathy
Also,
of a
Chad, if you like
mantis.
cool merch, you should go check out
He
Ulu
seems to
Market.
both
I don't ever really
admire and
advertise them that much
despise
aside from the
Sokolov.
pop-up. Also, look at all the
He visited
potions.
Aramis Stilton.
Yes, this is a pacifist
I
run.
liked him.
We can't kill anyone. We're doing the non-lethal version, and we're doing
Something
ghosts.
bad happened.
Yeah,
Just
check out
snatches
Malwin
of
merch.
memory.
It also helps
Sorry.
support the carnival.
You should rest easy for a while. Maybe some of that will help.
I hope so. I'm not sure I even fully understand what you did for me, but I owe you for helping me at Admire. Thank you.
Also, okay, I'm full. These audiographs, like, there's versions of them that show up in both games. Whoops, daisies. These are so fascinating. I don't think they technologically work the way that this thing, like, claims it does. Because for it to work with the punch cart, it would have to have, like, an internal memory or something. Which doesn't make a lot of sense. Support the carnival or get things in return. Correct.
Megan must be up on deck.
Because we're working on moving, and when we move, that means we may be able to have a more fleshed out schedule. And could stream on the weekends again. Okay, hold on. That's not it. gotta do the all important thing because sometimes, like, while it seems like there's nothing out here, they will sneak shit in. All right. Okay, no, alt only lets me do the. All right.
Let's
Actually,
hope your friend doesn't sink the boat while we're gone. Ready?
so with this mission, there's an achievement to get into the place and get rid of Jindosh without him knowing you were there. And I honestly don't know the non-lethal method for this. Do we like kidnap him? Side screen Subway Surfers, all that in and out
Jindosh is
action.
important
Oh
to
yeah.
the Duke's inner circle. The Grand Guard watches his mansion, and they'll call down the entire city if they find out who you are.
Wait,
I'll make sure.
wait. I think I do actually know it. I think
said
it's.
there's a
I think
wall
this is the
of
one where we
light
get to
access
meet
to the power station?
the one trans
Yes.
character in this game.
But there's a black market shop nearby. They sell on the sly. Ever use a rewiring tool?
I was put into some electroshock therapy chair for Jindosh.
Get past the wall.
Are you
of
sure? I
light,
thought it had to
then
do
ride
with one of
carriage
the
to where
gangs.
Jindosh lives. And there's a reason people are afraid of his mansion.
I'll get it done.
Emily, take care of this crazy man and his clockwork soldiers, then bring Sokolov back. He means a lot to me.
I can do that. So, first things first.
This world 15 years ago. Some part of me remains, but the world seems strange.
I hear a dog. Interesting.
Malcontents are saying that our bridges are crumbling, and people are leaving our cities. But as I look out the windows of the Grand Palace, I know these are lies. Sarkonis is a land of riches. Yes, some people are poor, because they're lazy. It's true that across our capital city, there are abandoned buildings full of blood spies. There have always been blood spies. There always will be.
Seen something. Now we're all unhinged. My heart can't take much more of this.
I swear, I think I just heard somebody inside. Or not. Why are these swords highlighted? Letter to Bonneville. Major Bonneville, thank you again for your help. Without you, it would have been impossible to trace the final members of the Grand Guard who were with Stilton that night 3 years ago. Stilton. Who is Stilton? This is the fourth cardinal digit. I think the punch card is sideways. Yeah, I think it was put into some electroshock therapy chair. Think that's later on. Is it? Last man has made it all the way north to... I have a chipped nail. Sorry, I just realized that because I scratched my chin with it. If you can believe it, it was recovered at a Tivian asylum for the poor, claiming to have seen all manner of strange things in the night of Stilton's last social gathering. He even described an exotic hooded figure visiting the manor, perhaps someone connected to Stilton's disappearance. Such matters are best left to military men such as yourself, I suppose. I still have your bank agent's name and address. Rest assured your final payments will be delivered soon. I'm also sending a small flask of liquor that is close to my heart, made from the pomace left over after wine grapes have been pressed. I was gonna say, wasn't there... Here it is. Leviathan's Mind. What are you, I wonder? Leviathan's Mind. Regenerate while underwater. Okay, we're not doing enough water diving to warrant that. So that's fine with me. That is... Oh, son of a bitch.
You in? Wouldn't miss that.
Yeah, we want to go check out that black market because I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. All right.
I told her once, I told her 1,000 times. It ain't my... job to check on the grinder.
Ah. It's glitching. That's funny. Although I don't quite trust this. Yeah. Give me that. Treatise on the physical existence of that foreign realm excerpt. And nails! Yes, nails. This is the room on the level that belongs to a bunch of fans of the Lord Regent from the last game. Oh, okay. Wait, what is... Oh, okay. That's fine. This is just... so it looks like there was multiple ways. Oh, hey. Gimme. Oh, interesting. Okay, there's nothing else I think we need in here, so we're just gonna... You know, give me those 2 runes. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, hi, handsome. There's my twink.
Kirin Jindosh, a prodigy from Karnaca. Self-taught, he was hailed by the
Akka!
what you need, where the monsters roam and the demons all
Akka, how was your stream? How are you doing? How was Nibble Ribble? Who are you playing as? Who's your main? I like Storm. I like Storm since the beginning.
For reasons that are
I played Storm when Storm was bad.
When they deported him, he left behind
But I haven't got to play since February.
Playing music that brought
Welcome in, Raiders. I hope you had a good time. We're currently playing Dishonored 2. We're doing a ghost run, which means we could never be seen.
And it has never worked.
Which chat remind me I need to quick save after this. No, nice. All right, let's go look at powers real quick. What do we have? We don't need this, I'm pretty sure, because... Ooh, that actually sounds interesting. I do kind of want to pull objects, because that'll be useful, I think, in a little bit. But at this rate, like, do we want... I don't think I need any of the other passives. Yeah, we maxed that. Reflexes. Deflect projectiles. Strength, throw objects further. Bloodthirst. Yeah, okay, I don't think we need it. So, have that. And then we didn't need this Blink Assault. Ends with delivering a powerful front kick, throwing the enemy forward. Unaware enemies are assassinated normally. Oh. But I think grabbing this will be fun. Go back. And then we're going to grab the next level of Domino. All right. Yeah, that's perfect. Wait, what was that? You all see that like little wispy effect? Yoink. Okay. Let me check this. Aha. Okay. Okay, can't reach that. That is fine. So, did you quick save? Yes, I did. Y'all can't really see it. It appears behind me, so like I'll do it right here. And you can see the saving thing in the corner. I hit F5. I don't want to accidentally risk myself like jumping off the ledge. Okay. Mark that one. I think that's the only one left. Yeah, it's the only one left in this section. So, I'm pretty sure that that's actually the black market. Okay.
Some little bit of excitement once in a while.
Here, actually, black market first. Oh, son of a bitch. Is it F9? I think I was hitting the wrong button. I was hoping I was going to jump forward, but then it's always with the like time freeze thing is like very jarring. So I was trying to like use the time freeze section to
Say something's amiss. Can't get comfortable.
okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's also if it doesn't seem like I find the like non-lethal method through this. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Yeah, here you go.
Appreciate it. I'll let you in on the secret. I saw people coming and going recently, looking for whale oil, up to something.
Oh, thanks, bud. That was actually just a coincidence. I just saw this guy here and thought that he looked...
You watch yourself.
Auspicious.
The Grand Guard aren't too friendly to strangers.
Hold on.
The Dale Street Stitcher, they called him. Back when he was spry enough to wrestle down his victims.
So many people legging it from the city. The Grand Guard and the Howlers won't have anybody to tax or rob.
Is that implying what I think it's implying?
Everyone already told you everything about him.
Feels like the city might collapse.
Already told you about this man.
That's a character I had never seen before. Okay. That's probably fine. Let's go down to the market. Wasn't there a... I swear.
The Empire has driven the prices up, I'm afraid.
I swear there's a
Greetings.
thing
I serve with
here.
discretion.
I like her hair.
I'm new to Karnaca. I need a tool that can rewire a wall of light, the kind the Grand Guard uses. And I'd prefer not to explain myself.
I can help you out, but not right now. Don't even linger here. I'm supposed to get a visit from Paolo, someone you don't want to meet. Come back later.
Understood.
You should go. We can do business another time. Like I said, Paolo is coming by.
Wait, what the fuck? There's so many more here. How did I miss those?
Hide yourself. They'll see you if you try to leave. Find a place to hide and we'll do business afterwards.
So the thing I'm gonna do with this is, I think I'm just gonna domino them. Okay, there's exactly 3 of them.
Aching back.
I need 8 new cutters, short blades, the good stuff. Because look.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that counted. I'm pretty sure that counted. Let me... Yep, there it is. All right. That's also a weird mechanic. I think that's...
I think he's here. Hide yourself.
Let me under the table again. Let me under the table again. Oh my god, go!
That's it. Stay out of sight.
Yeah, Ghost is quite hard. So the thing I'm trying to do that I wish I could do is like instantly take them down, but I also don't know why the guy exploded into rats.
I will never get used to it.
Maybe I just waited out.
I need 8 new cutters, short blades, the good stuff. Morley steel.
Where did
I
those
know
rats
what
come
you
from?
mean.
Do you? Because last time you gave me some backwater foundry
Mm.
that wouldn't hold an inch and snapped against Grand Guard armor.
I got taken on that deal too. But I'll make it up to you, Paolo. Knock off maybe 10%?
30. Because I like it.
That's why. He does turn into rats.
Most nights. The city's not safe.
Okay, hold on. Now I gotta see. Now I gotta check. There, we're great.
Greetings. I serve with discretion.
All right, what can I do for you now? New upgrade. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I've never gotten that before.
You want blueprints for better weaponry.
Bolt
Sometimes I wish I had the
range.
grand inventor among my clients. But I've heard he's not so easy to please.
How much money do I have? 2,400? All right, let's go look at the items first, because I want to get that rune.
A pleasure to do
Gibrin.
business.
Key to unlock the ticket booth. I'll take that, just
A deal
because.
well made. You won't be sorry.
And then I wanted some more sleeping darts.
I used to own a cafe down at the docks, but the smell of
that.
fish blood was stronger than the smell of morning.
And then
milk.
let's see, is there-
see. I have some upgrade plans for your gear.
Oh my god, I'm stupid. There's more pages. I was sitting there, I was like, there's no way there's only one, right? Okay, bone charms. Of course we need bone charm upgrades because we have so many of them. I would in fact like that. Bolt capacity.
Things were so much better just a decade
Sword
ago.
crossing we don't need. Grenades we don't need. Stun mine? Maybe? Is there no like stealth perks? There's no like boot, like style. Hi, Kono. For reasons though, listen, that's totally fine. Like this model is the only one with the good old slider here. It's not technically slider, it's stages. The other one is only one size. It is only one size. Unknown upgrade. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. What do we... Explosive bullets, magazine, magnetized bullets. Interesting. The thing is, the pistol is way too loud, and I don't think there's even like 7 upgrades, dude. Rapid burst magazine set to 3. No. No. 2i. Semi-charged functions an additional time. No.
The situation in the Empire has driven the prices up, I'm afraid.
I don't think there's any other upgrades I want, because we don't have the sleeping dart upgrade yet, so like there's not much reason. Okay.
Keep to the shadows. That's my advice.
Okay. So, security panel. I could have swore there was something else here. Maybe this isn't the level that we meet the one trans character in this game. Interesting view. Peter the lawyer! Peter the lawyer! Kono, you know what was funny? I had a weird thought earlier today with all the, we'll call it shit, with all the shit going around. And I was like, if I ever get like ripped off the street, for whatever reason, protesting anything else, I was like, who the hell am I going to call? And my brain was like, I'm probably actually going to call Kono. Kono would probably be the first person I would call, which is, I think, funny. I think it's very funny. But it's like one of those things. It's like, who's going to be the best person to help me? And it's probably going to be Kono. Oh, son of a bitch. Don't quite have the range. I could double. Dare I? Up. Oh, nope. My fucking shins, dude. Oh, God. How far back is it going to take me? When did I save? Fuck. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Yeah. It saved as I was killing the rats, which I think is where it registered where I killed Pablo. Now get your ass back here. Okay. We gotta buy our shit again.
I serve with discretion.
Okay.
This is what I have for upgrading your equipment.
What did we get? Didn't get anything here. We got this. Got this. I don't know if we got anything else, but I know we did. We wanted the rune.
You won't be sorry.
And we wanted that.
Well made.
And then that. But we had like 400 left, didn't we? Am I missing something?
Let's see. I have some upgrade plans for your gear.
Should I?
You know, I sleep in the shop most nights.
I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get this. All right.
Keep
so real quick, because we now have so many bone charm slots. We got all of our bone charm slots. Let's put some on, and then ones that we don't want. Your lateral make noise more visible when leaning. Ooh. Recover from falls slightly quicker. Okay, I think I have a better idea. Go here. Sacrifice. So we want that. Want that. That. Yeah, we'll just tear apart all the ones we're not using. So now we can go back and we can craft. We can craft some things. Let's do lung capacity, mana, drop assassinations, restore mana. I think, does it only count for assassinations, or if I drop choke or glazing over and discovery and keep looking towards Baron? What's wrong? What's wrong, boss man? This I want. So yeah, we'll make one charm. That is, oh, I have to hold space. So I was sitting there, I was like, wait. Yeah, I want a 4-piece charm that's gonna like increase our fucking speed of choking someone out. Especially because I have, all right, yeah, we'll just make another 3-piece here with something else in it. So, I don't know how to sheath my weapon because I'm stupid. Shadow Walk. Yeah, we'll take one of that. This one's probably just gonna be like a hodgepodge of things to make things easier, question mark. Yeah, we'll get some of these mana restore. Location sickness, enemy miss. White rats can be eaten for mana, sure. Yeah, I just kind of want to get some mana restoration. How do I put Billy the Way? Choke Master? Yep. All right. And then we go back over here. Equip our new crafted ones. I feel like how much our speed increased whenever we what was it? Whenever we went to when we got the upgrade for like our stealth speed,
That's
like when
my
we're crouching, we technically like we're moving pretty fast. We're kind of schmoving. Is it fast as sprinting? No, but is it faster than walking? Scarily, yes. Actually. All right. Now hold on a second. Those are all inside. I think actually what I'm gonna do is,
I just can't get comfortable. I've got to get back to Dunwall.
first of all, I'm gonna do a quick save.
I've seen the kids in 2 years.
I'm distractible by nice models. Hell yeah. Yoink. And then I think what I'm gonna try to do is get up there and get to that instead. Because I'm not 100% sure, but I think. Uh-oh. There we go. That looks like another guard over there. Can I zoom? How do I zoom? Huh. The zoom button is not alt like it was in the first game. Real quick though, we're gonna do this. And then I'm gonna do just a real quick save to make sure, because I don't know if I'm gonna teleport up here and there's gonna be somebody on the fucking roof. Okay. We are, in fact, clear. Woo! That door's open. Okay, that's the cart coming in. Hold on, there's a... Ah, there it is. Okay, that's why this is open. Is there no one here?
Is it a curse or a blessing to linger past your time in the world?
Academy have benefited moral edification of the pupils therein. Uh-oh. Child Empress. There's a definitive moment when people stopped calling Emily Cauldron the Child Empress. It came after an ambush by the Regenters, an extremist group who wanted to return to Dunwall to the authoritarianism of the Lord Regent's time. On the way back to Dunwall's tower, Caldwell's carriage was blocked between two gates, with her attackers firing pistols and even throwing a grenade. With the Royal Protector too far away to be of service, the young Empress, only 14, found herself all alone in the carriage, save for her friend Alexei Mayhew. Alexei was the one that got stabbed at the beginning. Caldwell's supporters were lucky that Mayhew was there, as she was brave enough to grab a grenade that had landed at their feet, throwing it back at the assailants and saving the Empress. When one of the men dropped down from the forward gate, it was Emily Cauldron who yanked free a short railway brace and beat the man senseless with it. With the city watch closing in, the two girls held their ground against the debris of the carriage until the situation was secured. It's said that Emily Cauldron refused to have the Regenters executed for their crimes, and this is hailed by many as her first adult decision as Empress. Cited by heroic actions, Alexei Mayhew was commissioned by the City Watch when she turned 18 and was later made captain by Emily Cauldron herself. Cool! I actually never came across this stuff. Reflection on my journey to the Pandician continent. This is the other journal entry for Grandma Rags, isn't it? Okay, I want to hit this, but... Void armor. What is that? When you take damage, a significant portion is in... Ooh! Oh, it's from mana. Never mind. Never mind. Disgusted. Oh. Axis of Asim mine. Yoink. Give me your fucking... money.
You want me to point the way, help you onto a path. Now, let us be lost here together for a moment.
Aww. Is there a white rat here? Darn it. Darn it, no white rat. I wanted the free mana. As traumatizing as that idea is.
Oh, that's relief. Don't know what I hate to deserve that.
That's not... Oh.
There's a time when I could go to sleep without wondering if I'd wake up.
Oh, it's in the cabinet, son of a bitch. Is it just her? That's odd. Hold on.
The dice are special, shaved ever so slightly. She keeps them tucked into a corset to lend her a wind when the betting really gets going.
Okay. Chat, we want to try something. Let's try using our far reach to pull her, because I'm curious how this is going to work. So I'm going to quick save just in case I fuck it up and accidentally kill her. God damn it. I think I canceled it too early. I thought I was supposed to pull her to me. It also just seemed like there's another person over there. And I think there's actually a person over here. Ah, there he is. Okay. I still kind of want to try it again. I want to try it again. I think I just canceled it by accident. Yeah. That's I did quick save. Also, hold on a second. Okay, there we go. I don't think this is gonna work. I think it is just gonna fling her into the air again.
What's going on here? Ow! Oh shit!
Okay, yeah, that didn't work as I wanted it to. So we're gonna do something else. I have a different idea. Can I? Oh. Hold on, I have a plan. This is probably gonna be a terrible idea.
Another fish in the trap!
What's going on here?
What happened here?
What happened?
Shit! I thought I saw someone right here. Let's check the place
late.
just in case.
Better search the place.
Hello? Come on. We'll
Anybody?
Yeah.
Don't make me search this whole place.
You can't hide from us. You cross one howler, you cross them all. We'll...
You know, I'm fine with that. But I want to double check. I gotta double check. Okay, we're still good. We're still good. Whew. Give me your fucking money. Oh, hello. Yeah, you screwed me. Paolo was where you said he'd be, alone. We knifed him 50 times. He was choking blood when I drove a rail spike through the side of his head. Then he was just gone. There weren't nothing but a bunch of rats. Not sure how he pulled that trick, but you must have known, scumbag. Next day, Paolo came back with 10 howlers, got us a couple at a time, dragged Brenda and Thomas screaming into the street and bashed out all their teeth with a hammer, put that crazy powder in their eyes, had them seeing terrible things, screaming like carnival clowns, mouths all running red. Then Paolo gave the word and they shot them when they're screaming darts they used. I stayed hid, so I'm finished, asshole. I bet you were working with the howlers all along. I swear if I ever see you again, I'm stuck. Yale. I don't think we... Okay, I'll not have any other loot. Howling darts. Okay. Okay, how many runes do we have right now? Just 2? Okay, I don't think that's anything for any of the old stuff. Bin time. I think bin time is what we're gonna save for next. I think is what we're gonna get next. Okay. That killed her, Baron. Quick load? Nah, it's fine. It's the one death is fine. Yeah, no kills. See? That didn't kill her. What are you talking about? But yeah, she's dead though, but you get the idea. What was I doing again? Think.
As you were.
Okay. That. Yeah, that's the last one there. So, I was looking to see if there was. Oh, I'm stuck. If there was like a door or something, but it doesn't look like it.
Worse than nothing.
Huh. Unfortunate. All right. So, we are gonna. I can say there's a back door right here. I could probably just open. Wait, is that a right route? Come here. Nah, it's not white. Doesn't count, apparently. Oh, son of a bitch. I have to do the wall of light. No, nothing. Oh, hey. Okay, so this was just an alternate path that they booby-trapped. I don't think that's actually anything. Is it? Nah, it doesn't look like a hole or anything. Okay.
Kind of dry. Huh?
Nah, shut up. So... there's a dude looking at me right there. Damn it! How do I do this? How do I do this? See? Okay. Where are you going, buddy?
Once with a man from old Lampro, whose cock was his reason, and he tugged on it lightly and ever so slightly. Big and large as a nut.
Working for Duke's not so bad.
No.
I'll have a look over there.
Shit. This is fine. It's fine. Let's go double check though. Okay, yeah, we're good. So the door's rewired. We just need to wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I hear them yelling. Cast Schmordain on Ordain, not Schmordain of the red, white, blue, and red Teslas. I stole your copper. I took your lithium battery. Okay, hold on.
Can't stay hidden forever. Come on, let's have
Oh,
a
shit.
fair fight.
I'm getting stuck on branches. I was hoping I could get up somewhere and... Here, we'll just do this. Then go back over here, and then we will probably domino, I'm thinking.
5 years and in all the years of my life before that. I know that much.
I wonder who that was.
I swear I saw something. Nope.
Where is... That's the body. Okay. Okay, not close enough. So... Here, go back over here. the wrong thing. 7? Yeah. Uh-oh. 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 Okay, hold on. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, God. When did I just last quick save? Oh, it's before I fucking took him down. God damn it.
I wonder if the rumors are true.
God fucking damn it, dude.
The old Empress, really?
This is, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me see if there was another autosave. No, there isn't.
What a bunch of degenerates.
Okay. Oh my God, get down. Okay. And real quick, we're gonna try to get from here, back up here, and then theoretically, there he is. I want to get on the railing, but it's not letting. Oh, that's because there's a fucking entire rail there. I'm stupid. Okay. And then what I can do here is... Oh, shit.
Did I imagine that?
Of course they could see me. Okay, let's do it. Let's see if I can do it from here. I want to get all 3 of them. Still not close enough?
I wonder who that was.
God damn it. I'm stuck. The hell? Twitching.
I don't have time for games.
You can't stay hidden forever.
Can't I? Can't I?
Something moved. Pretty sure of it.
Okay, yeah, the tree's not gonna let me. I'm pretty sure that other dude is like right beneath me, and then there's those 2. The thing is, I'm apparently not close enough to them, which kind of sucks. Oh shit, the ad break! Oh no, it's already too late. Jokes and you guys have electricity. At least you get the jokes of retaking out a guard. Yeah, I guess. Okay, so real quick, let's do this. Let's go right here. God damn it. Are they not close enough to each other? I don't think. Is that it? Is that the reason? What if I just...
Why would he say that? Makes no sense.
I want to try this. I don't understand. Why did I get a 3-second ad? That was weird. That is very fucking weird. Also, Macus! Welcome in, dude. How are you doing? What is up? Chat, if you don't know Macus... I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering your name. I don't think I've heard it out loud. If y'all don't know, if you don't know them, they are a fucking stellar artist and animator. They are fantastic. And they're a little slime on Twitch. Scammed of iPad time. Gotta take the business card as repayment. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. My goal is to get all 3 of these guys to like run here to the center for me.
What was that? Did you hear that? What's going on here?
So let's see.
I don't
Let's
like
have a
that.
look.
What was
Better
it?
have a look.
Where's the 3rd guy? Where's the 3rd guy? Where'd the 3rd guy go? What the hell? Ah, there he is. Get back over here, nerd! Fine, I'll do it without you. Nap. Nap. Baron, okay, the business card, time to buy Legos. What do you mean Legos? Think.
He's just been knocked out.
All right, works for me. Yoink. Oh, they don't have any loot. Why no loot? Okay, this is already swapped. Let's do this really quick. I want to get up somewhere. Okay, there's a guy up there. Oh! What? I rewired it! What? Or did I not? Oh, I didn't. I didn't because we rewound before I took out that other guy. So this thing isn't rewired anymore. God damn it. That is so fucking funny. Bum, 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 bum. Fun, Nico, boom. All right, let's do this. I want that bone charm. Ah, shit.
It's not so. As long as you're Grand Guard. I'd hate to be in.
Anyway. Bone charm, liquid sustenance. What are you? Is this another one that's restores health? Nah. Nah. All right, it's time to drink a potion. I think that's everything? Question mark? Right? Right? Am I good? Am I good? Chat, I kind of want to double check something really quick. Let me pull up my browser page really quickly. Because I don't know the, Dishonored Who, Electric Boogaloo. Hold on a quick second. I also have something over here that I need to tap. Okay. Mission 4. Non-lethal. What is the non-lethal method for this? Because I honestly have no idea what it is. Okay, bone charm painting. The ruins, the bone charms, the paintings. Okay. Find the black market. Achievement 3 deaths. If you have lethal sort, there's an opportunity here. Ambush Palo, just group and kill them all. It'll be 1/3 of the way towards the 1/3 of the way. Huh. Speak with the merchant. Buy the rewire tool. Okay. Red building where this opening leads to nest. Okay, that's just money. Whale oil to bust into the black market, but apparently it's short of a canister. Okay, that's just if we want to do that. Okay, bone charm. Go back to the main floor, opening the locked door. Okay. All right. So hold on, there's still something down below that we can go check out, which I guess is here. Whale oil. Okay, yeah, that was the door that we got from the black market. Nice. Eggs. Money. Damn it. Open says me. Open says me. Gib. Oh, hello. Oh, hell yeah. Let me we'll just go ahead and close all of these back, I think. We got everything. Hi, it's me! Food time. Enjoy your food time. I still think it's always funny that, there's always whale oil, like, dripped all over the counter. Wait, what does that say?
Somewhere near they hold hands. They drink poison together. This old couple.
What?
A banker tricked them out of their home.
Mindy Blanchard. Okay, this is the one that I was talking about. Dangerous, not to be trusted. Wanted for Grand Guard for various crimes and gang-related enterprises. What's your problem? Carrie, you usually have problems. What's the problem? Go ahead. I'll wait. I'll wait. All right. I think we can just go, question mark. Hi, Traveler Theo. How are you doing? All right. Oh, we're not even to his house yet. Oh, Jesus. All right. Roller coaster.
I can see Jindosh's mansion from here. The carriage line is blocked. I'll have to unlock the gate.
Oh, hi guys. Okay. Okay, those windows are open.
So many places I wanted to visit with you.
Okay. Wait. Oh. Excuse me, I'd like to get back up there.
Put in a request for new boots.
That doesn't look good.
Get a sock. One useless sock.
Get the clankers off Karnaka's streets. Clankers! Throwing away slurs here. Throwing around slurs over here for the robots. Beware a strange sound like the clanking of a factory machine. You might be seconds from encounter with the latest work of the grand inventor Kirin Jindosh. What should we think of these new marvels of industry coveted by the wealthiest members of Karnakan society and standing vigil over their estates? I will tell you, these clockwork soldiers are a danger to us all, taking lives with all the morality of a shopkeeper's adding machine. They fight for the days without rest as long as the whale oil tanks hidden in their backs don't run dry. Tyranny awaits until we can act now and reestablish the lawful societies established by the former Duke of Draconos, twice the leader his indolent and irresponsible son has proven to be. Came over a little bit ago, recognized your wiggle mug and said his wife watches you? What? That's amazing. Well, hello. A tattoo gun. I have a distinct feeling like this room was not used for tattoos. Pretty strong, distinct feeling. Records. Oh! Okay. Let's do a little bit of a thing here. So there's something, I think there's a gate of light out there, but I don't know for sure. Let's just look through the peephole. Okay, well that other guy hasn't come back in. And I hear the other guy whistling. Where is he? Still at the end of the hall. Actually, hold on. I should do this thing. I should do this thing. Okay. Wow, sir, you are oblivious. All right, let's do this. We're just gonna, do we turn it off or? Oh no, I only had one rewire tool, I'm pretty sure.
What do you think? I'm stupid? I know all my letters and then some. Tax every uniform. This machine drinks faster than a miner.
Okay. Oh. Lieutenant Rockless, but now you have time to think it over. I'm in a good position where I'm at. I've got the same deal going with 4 others in the guard, spread out over Karnaca. People I trust watching major entry points. The offer's unchanged. If our very important person from Dunwall comes through, alone or with anyone else, and you're part of the squad taking them down, do whatever it takes to keep it quiet. Whatever it takes. Bring the body to me and we'll all gather up. The 6 of us will take credit for the arrest and we'll split the Duke's reward. Money and maybe a post at the Grand Palace. Stick with us in this, Lieutenant, and we'll increase your odds. I mean, technically people aren't supposed to know I'm here. Honestly, though, I don't think we actually need to deal with that because I think oh, damn it. Triple damn it. All right, you know what? We'll just go up then. Just go up. This is fine. Oh, what?
Give me a second.
Huh?
Be careful.
Side alley key. Oh. Why are people getting upset? Whose voice was that? Hold on, what the fuck? Okay, we're still good. I was just confused. Okay, full on that, full on that. This is the weird side of doing, there. Oh, there's one over there, but oh, it's down. Okay.
I wonder who that was.
Hard times. Hard times.
Oh. Oh shit.
I'm sure there was something going on.
Can't stay hidden forever. Think you're smart? I'll find you.
I'll have a look over there. Don't make me search the whole place. I don't have time for that.
Hey, coward!
Come on.
Come fight
I don't
face
have
to
time
face.
for games.
Oh, okay.
I'll find you, you know.
Oh, hi, buddy. Oh shit, that's exact. He's going right within view. Oh, god damn it. Oh, god damn it. Oh, fuck.
It's gonna be a...
Can't even breathe no more.
Miserable.
Stay here. I'll
Son of a fucking bitch, dude. Fuck you, dude. Alright. So let's do this. Pick this, do a little peek. Can't peek far enough. Okay, this is me picking up the group thing. Maybe it was because I think it was because they turned off the tank, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, but where is this? Oh, literally right in fucking front of me. Electric burst, what is that? Area of effect for stun mines. That could be useful. We'll equip that just because we have space. Okay. So, we're going upstairs again. I'm sure you are. Because this guy is sound asleep, we can just come take his shit again. Excuse me. Good morning. Hi, Weasel. How are you doing? That's actually really funny, Carrie. I wonder who his wife is. New gate code. New code for the gate is 124. Once you've read and memorized it, destroy the note. Remember, do not write them down or forget to destroy the notes. Which gate, I wonder? Open the gate for the carriage. Okay. Ah. All right, we'll go ahead and go do that. Can I... Nailed it? Question mark? Okay. So 1, 2. Oh, it's a shortcut. Oh. Interesting. Okay, I've never done that. Do I dare? I'm gonna quick save here. I'm back. I'm fed. I boop. Chicken. I'm back from walking the dog. Aw. I forget, Ordained. Have you shown pictures of your dog in the Discord before? Do I dare just go or? Nah, just one ruin. It'll be fine. If it was a shrine, I'd be more inclined. But it's not. Alright. Yeah, because it's just like the abandoned building and stuff over there. That was flawless. Okay, now this, I believe, is the hardest part. Who done did it? Hold on a second. I want to see. I don't think I can climb pipes. Can I in this game? Am I dumb? Can I? Yep. No, I've wondered. Can I go up the pipe? Can I go up the pipe as like a rat or as the shadow? I don't think I can because it looks like it just ends. Interesting. The thing is I think if we go in the front door, he immediately knows we're here. So let me, Giraffe, thank you for doing your season pass. Holy shit. 6 months at tier 3. Jesus, my dude. All right, hold on. Let me see here. Unlock carriage gate, bone charm, blueprint. Totally missed the blueprint. Oh, it was the guy where we got the key. God damn it. Okay, and then that's a painting. How do we... Don't touch the lever if you're going for this achievement. Or you really don't want to listen to Jindosh goading you. To complete this achievement, you must not alert Jindosh to your presence until you eliminate him, which you can view the steps and details here. Oh, fuck. All right, hold on. They got an entire separate page for this. Oh, you're right. It does involve electricity. You'll reach the Clockwork Mansion, sort of a palace. Can't activate any of the switches around the mansion and cannot be seen by enemies. This means you cannot pull the first level in the main room of the mansion and let the Clockwork Soldier see you, as Jindosh will know of your arrival. Instead, take the following steps. From the room with the lever, use a crossbow bolt on the ceiling glass to make a new exit. Okay. Apparently... Okay. Sleep or choke out Jindosh. Carry his body to the lab. Ugh. Okay. All right. So yeah. So we need to get to him without alerting him, which means we do still need to go through the door. That's fine. That's fine. We just don't pull the levers. Oh God, the game's lagging.
Has
The
a
game.
strange beauty to it.
Okay.
Maybe I'll find a way to end this without killing Kieran Jindosh.
Okay. Let's do this. Tier 3, hell yeah. Hi, Dorothy. I'm having a pretty decent day. I'm having a pretty good day. It's been a pretty good week. In general, just in general, not like...
All right, I need to eliminate Jindosh and find Anton Sokolov.
Nom, 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 nom. Okay. So... real quick... Oh, thank God. I wonder what this is. Also, give me that fig.
Welcome to my home, stranger. The door is always open to those with the will to pass the threshold.
Okay.
If you're here by appointment, then proceed and bide your time. Otherwise, I'd be remiss if I didn't inform you about the
There are such strange and wonderful things living down in the deep.
Many have entered without invitation, for reasons as myriad as the fish in the ocean. But of those
Winslow?
who dared to explore further, very few have found their way back out.
Does that mean you've been killing people in this house? Good week, it's just Monday. I mean, the past 7 days have been pretty decent. That's all I'm saying. Clockwork Soldiers sold at auction. Vegeta offered sale 2 of his latest contraptions, marvelous clockwork soldiers, the likes of which have never been seen before. The mechanical wonders sold after fierce bidding from an astonishing high price. Never before have the wealthy class been able to protect themselves and their holdings with such vigor and style. Prior to the auction, only the likes of Duke Luca Abel and more recently our new Empress could enjoy such protections. Having seen a demonstration arranged by the genius natural philosopher himself, I was witness to what this clockwork soldier can do. Woe to any trespasser or villain who crosses their path. I dare say Karen just discovered a way to end crime altogether. X to doubt. So yeah, the way we do this is, if I remember right, we do not also Horth. The doors are open. Time to go shopping. Ooh. Oh wow. I do want the black bone charm. All right, so we have to do that. Okay. Hostile territory, but... Who the heck? Oh. Okay, no, that's just a reflected thing. Pretty sure, yeah. I have not taken any damage. So...
The space behind the walls.
I don't think I want to hit that button. So we need to get to the laboratory, which technically is straight that way, but... maybe if I hit the button, it'll open. But really quick, what I'm gonna do before I hit the button, because I'm concerned if like the house starts moving, it automatically alerts him. So let's see.
Who would build something like this? And why?
Someone's activated one of the mechanisms.
Damn it, called it. Okay, so we can't even do the buttons. We can't move anything. So we have to find a way around and through without pushing the buttons. Me down. Oh, it's dripping. Sokolov technology in the new age? Oh. So he does read his contemporaries.
Maybe when the weather turns, I'll have my man plant tomatoes. grow well here, and we could make
Okay.
a pretty penny selling off the bad parts to the miners.
So. Oh, he did move. Okay. So. I think the first time I did this mansion of. Oh, there is a soldier right there. Oh, hi.
Just work harder. It's indisputable.
A pool table. A pool table with pegs. Interesting. I think his laboratory's that way. Maybe I don't need to go this way. Maybe I can go around. Oh, she's right there. And there's two of them. Okay, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try to domino them.
Do you think this thing can see what we're doing?
No. When they're like this, they're blind. They can still hear, though. They'll wake up at any loud noise, or if a fight breaks out.
Still kind of creepy.
Hold on.
I have to work hard, Gordon.
I don't have... Where is it? Where are my stun mines? I only have one stun mine. Oh, I think that's what I bought before. Damn it.
I find it kind of exciting. Like being watched, but not really.
Okay. Oh, he didn't go down. Why didn't he go down? Oh, I guess he got far enough away that the domino broke. That's all I can assume. Okay, so we're gonna do this instead. Okay.
I hear laughter. Somewhere there is still merriment in song, and the gentle ease of friendship.
Waiting room key. I thought he was looking the other direction for a second. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Light him up with a rat cat. Listen, I want to do it's stealth when no one's left alive to report. Correct. And I'm making sure everyone is unconscious. Oh shit, that black one is in there. Fuck. And there's two more people there. Oh, hi, buddy. It's just, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do scamper.
Huh.
Shut up, you didn't see shit. Man. Yoink. Alright, then we'll go back around.
Hey, clear. I'm bringing up the arc pylon.
What? Huh? Did y'all hear that? Did he say he's bringing up the arc pylon? There's an arc pylon here? All right, hold on. We're gonna go back. Go up here. And let's see if there's another side. There's also a potion here. So, pardon me while I just slurp. And then... Okay. All right, I think this is the way we have to go. Hi, Danny. Also, hold on. I just realized I've been drifting with the models, so give me a second. There we go. There we go. Bring up the orc pylon. Zug zug. Gonna start spawning some football hooligans. Oh, Jesus. All right. Actually, hold on. This isn't quite the way I want it. That's quite a bit better. There we go. There we go. All right. I am having a good day. Today's a pretty decent day. I'm playing one of my favorite games. I woke up this morning and I got a key to Expedition 33, so we'll probably actually going to be playing that on Wednesday instead of Alone in the Dark. I very much want to see what it's like. I've specifically avoided spoilers, so it actually took me forever and a half to even realize that this was a... Wait a second. Hello. Oh, shit. And it looks like... Okay. Let's see if I can go get that,
Others might choose to draw.
I want to get that black bone charm.
Find another way.
By an older lesbian couple day. Oh, congratulations! I mean, you're gonna get extra Christmases.
I think at these prices, the man wouldn't keep us waiting.
There's only one Kieran Jindosh. He can charge whatever he likes. Besides, you're rich enough to afford a couple of the clockworks. I happen to know you.
There's another Addermeyer solution right there.
Duke took over the silver mines.
Low wages means higher profits.
Okay.
But it's my time that's precious. I'm not used to waiting.
Neither am I. When was the last time someone had me waiting for more than an hour? I can't remember. It's almost titillating.
How many clockworks did you say there were? It's a numbered set, if I recall.
It is indeed, but 36, 46?
Okay, hold on.
Exclusive, whatever the count. Everyone.
Do I sleep them with the one dart I have? I think I do. I think I'm just gonna use the one dart on them. Okay. I think I'm good. Excuse me. Oh, invitation letter from Jindosh. It would be my pleasure to play host to you and give you a personal demonstration of my clockwork soldiers as you take possession of yours. As you must know, the cost is exceptionally high, but once you see one of my creations in action, you'll be unable to resist the purchase. Please arrive at the appointed date between the hours of 2 and 3 in the afternoon. Okay. Have time. All right, so now we have the key. And... Oh, charm. Oh, what the hell? I didn't like that. That actually scared me. So, let's mark that. Oh, there's nothing. Son of a bitch. Okay. So, let's go this way. Give me that pouch. Creator himself, Kieran Jindosh. Okay. I do like that you can kill certain people in this way without the chaos level going up. It's just based on what the heart says. True.
She brought her own physician in to look after the servant girl at great expense and against her mother's wishes.
Aww.
She has no more secrets that I can see. A joke or a riddle is always on his tongue.
I've never done so. See, there's another switch, but we definitely don't want to pull that. Oh, hi, buddy. Okay, the unfortunate thing is he got the pylon turned on, so I can't even go out there. So, we need to go back in the walls. I'm in your walls, I'm in your walls, I'm in your walls. Okay. Oh, there was a rat. Okay, I was like, what did it just get? There's another soldier. Okay, yeah, we'll go down here and see what it is. Oh! Last words. To whoever might find this, are you trapped? I know all too well your situation. You see, these are my last words. I found a spot away from the clutch of those things, but for what? I have no food, no water, and now I grow weak. If there's any chance to escape, then I have missed it. Even writing this note saps any strength I have left. I thought I could beat this contraption, this terrible house, this thing that Jindos has built, but it has beaten me. If only I had thought to bring water and a morsel of bread. And so I say goodbye to you, my reckless friend. Perhaps you too will die here. Nah. Juggler, magician, thief, braggart, and surely a fool. We'll take that, though. Anything else? Doesn't look like it. Ah, there it is. That would be the... Yeah, that would be the pylon. Now, do I... No, we're gonna go back and we're gonna go get that. You doing up there, champ? Gotcha, bitch. Alright, is there anything else these ways? Okay, we don't want to go down there. That's the other floor. So yeah, I think we're going up. Up. Ah, not quite. Okay. So his pylon's dead. Do we need to get across there? There's a person in here. Oh, there's two people in here. Okay. Is it not cold in the walls? Don't need to worry about it. I am wearing long sleeves though, so I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine. See, this is the downside of being out of sleep darts now. Where'd that other guy go? Alright, we're gonna do a quick save here, because when she turns around, I think I'm gonna go get her. Oh, nope, wait, he's coming back. I can see that pulse over there. Okay. Okay, he's gonna keep going. And I think I'm probably about to lose dark vision. There it goes, yeah. Hold on, where's she going? Oh, she wanders in a circle. Okay, I'm glad I didn't try to get the jump on her. She's just pacing. Nerd! Hi, Tia! Alright, now she's gonna come back over here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna teleport behind her, because she will always look right at this window. Oh, what the fuck? I'm trying to teleport in. Cancel, please.
Ooh, smells like piss. What a dump.
I'll be damned.
Okay, so it can see me. It can see me. Got it. Got it. How are you doing, Tia? So the thing is I want to get over there, and I have to get past these idiots.
Ooh, smells like piss. What a dump.
Are you calling this place a dump? I think that's just like a default sound, I'm guessing.
I spent 3 months over on the west side working with Lady Pinoli, and that's all it took. Now he's a man.
Just starting my day. Well, good morning.
Bastard.
All right. I could just kind of... I have an idea. Ah, damn it. She paced back over.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.
I think that's actually the way I have to go anyway. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, he's leaving. She's at this window. Whew. Okay. Oh, shit. Spec.
Luca Abel.
It's below. Lever. Banana. How do I... Oh. Okay. Any more lying around here? Doesn't look like it. So, okay, I'm gonna make the mistake of... Well, let's quick save here, and I'm gonna pull this lever.
Who would build something like this? And why?
Someone's active.
Motherfucker! Look at this place. I have to actually walk from room to room. No conveyor floors. How do these peasants live like this? Amazing. Oh, what is that from? That's from something. I can't remember where, though. There has to be. Right? What is that? A locket? Okay. Oh, hi. That also seems to be the way to the... Try something here. Is there... Ah, son of a bitch, there's not. There may be another way.
Long way down.
Anything down? Ah. I see. Maybe. Unfortunately, that means... Actually... Maybe I can get up there. No, that didn't work. I want to see if because if I can prop myself on this window, maybe this is the room I need to get into. Are you serious? Seriously? Oh my god.
happens here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Okay. Elevator. Sticky grenades. Maintenance key, maintenance key. Okay. I kind of want to go up. There's the one elevator. That's the bottom floor. So Jindosh, I think, is going to be in here. I think. That's a big thing. 2 years? Jesus, boy. No! You want me child support now? No! You can't prove nothing. There's no DNA in that baby. Okay, real quick, before I do this.
This must be Jindosh's lab.
This playback indicates some detection without certainty.
Okay, so we already know for sure. He's up there. So is.
Witness place. Check central rotor.
Okay. Wait a second. Where is... Okay, it's because it's below.
Playback loop.
What are you doing?
If this plays, the machine is recharging the magnetic coil.
Yeah, when it paces past, I'm gonna try to get behind it and see if I can disarm it. I can't. Okay, I can't. I can't disarm it. What's funny too is you can tell I haven't been in any combat because every time I get engaged, it pops up with the combat tutorial. Which is so goddamn funny. Okay, so I think what I can do technically is if I put down... Y'all started a fucking hype train? No Deganol proof we need? What? Lack of proof is not proof. Wait, where is it? Okay, there it is. So I think... Does anybody know if the stun mines disable these things? Anybody know off the top of their heads?
Extra diagnostic playback loop.
Okay. Choo-choo binge? Oh no. Oh no. Why did something just explode? Takes 2 charges? Okay, then. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do instead then. When it paces... Oh, whoops. There it is. Okay. When it takes its long walk over that way, that's when I'm gonna pop up and I'm gonna go get Jindosh. Although... Something's... Ooh, I was about to make a mistake. Oh, and there's another one right there. I wonder if... I could start making a distraction. Powering the electroshock machine. Note to self, there's insufficient power to operate the electroshock machine. Until this is rectified, it will have to compensate, freeing up more power for the electroshock machine by configuring the other laboratory platforms so they draw the least power.
With this machine, maybe you won't have to die after all, Jindosh.
Current power needs. Okay, but how do I adjust that? Ah. Okay, so electroshock, is that 7? I think that is a 7. Total power available 11. So
Who would build something like this? And why?
Someone's activated one
Damn
of
it.
the mechanisms in my house.
This world is what you need, where the monsters
oh shit, okay, we got 3 minutes until an ad break. Good, because I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay, so we shouldn't touch any of that until after we've knocked his ass out. So, the thing is, though, is it seems like he's... Okay, that thing's taking the long walk.
Perhaps half, given his age.
Kiran Jindosh.
Okay, this is stupid, because apparently it's currently... I have to do it like this way?
The clockwork, the zone is...
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Expense remains an impediment.
Why can't I... I hope that the Pale Star looks down from favor upon your attempts to gain Sokolov's favor, but if the old goat will not bend to your will, I have offer an alternative to merely keeping him locked in your assessment chamber and subjecting him to cruel electrotherapy. Start a new effigy cast in Sokolov's shape. Given time, I believe it might... Okay, so we have one of the witches.
Once we've got the cost down, I'll provide the Duke with an army, unlike
Hi, Drunken Crow.
the history of the Empire.
Okay, hold on. I need to check the thing that I have, because now I am very confused. Okay, we still have 2 minutes until the ad starts. Let me see here. What does this say? Some of the elevators take it to the top floor. 3rd floor is where Jindosh resides. Only a single clockwork shoulder should be active. Wait until it moves towards Jindosh's desk. Take the left path along the length of the rotunda. The other clockwork shoulders will not activate unless you bump into it. Lethally with the crossbow, non-lethally with the sleep dart. Blink or reach onto the light fixture above him and drop down when the clockwork soldier is moving back to the elevator. Okay. But Yuri, welcome in, Raiders! Those of you who don't know me, my name is Martin. I'm the ring leader of the Dark Carnival. I typically play games that are dark, spooky, terrifying, gorgeous, whatever my inclinations like to get into. Currently, today we are playing, this is Dishonored 2. I apologize for my focus. We are currently on, like, the hardest mission. We are playing, we're doing ghost runs, so I have to do this without getting caught, as well as doing it non-lethally. And right now, the game does not seem to be happy with me, because my target is right in front of me, and it is not working. Okay. Okay. So that's all the information I get. I'm supposed to be able to take him out right now. Just gonna kind of wait again and get on top of that light. Rip. Let's do a quick save. Yeah, because this game has a problem sometimes with people being in chairs. And you won't be able to,
When was the last time?
Like, I'm right behind him, and I should get, like, a prompt. I should be getting a prompt. But I'm not. And, like, the guide was like, if you want to get him, then you have to, like, drop down on him. Oh, I saw it too. Damn it. Okay, we're gonna wait for the bot to loop again. Oh, I saw the prompt there for a second. So we have to wait. We have to wait for the robot to loop back. I hate all the non-lethal mechanics in the Dishonored games. The thing is, I've played all the Dishonored games completely lethal already. So I both want the achievements and to see the ending of what happens when you do non-lethal.
Remove this playback after the final field test.
Skeleton. Oh, also, okay, hold on. We actually have to pause because the hype train just ended, and I'm pretty sure we're about to get an ad. Pretty sure. Oh, okay. That's kind of a cool emote. I kind of like that emotes. Okay, let me go ahead and close some streams really quick. There we go. There we go. Let me double check, make sure. Okay, yeah, it's stuck on ad starting soon, but we'll be back in a couple minutes. There. Oh, come on. Now it snoozes them? Seriously? Well, it says it's still stuck on ad starting soon. What the fuck? What the hell? Ad starts in 3 minutes, 40 seconds. What? What is happening? All right. I guess we got time to figure this out. Is it moving? Go away.
The machine is running at low speed.
Okay. Are you serious?
Enjoy the show!
Ah, motherfucker. Motherfucker. I saw it there for a second too, which is, I think, even funnier. So here, if I fall into his seat, maybe I can get him.
When was the last time I ate? I see.
Okay. And now we're gonna wait the bot out again before we go put him in the chair. Let me also make sure I quick save. Yeah, I have quick saving spare. I have quick saving. It does give you the prompt to run it anyways when it does that, right? But the thing is it used a snooze, so I'm gonna I'm gonna give him the snooze, especially because Yui rated. So, okay, here he comes.
Okay, the machine has detected something.
Something? Just something?
Increasing oil tank temperature.
Yui, you fucking goofball. All right. So then from here, we can actually just go back down.
Playback for detection registered.
Let's go, Jindosh, me and you. Okay, still unconscious.
Check central rotor.
Just gonna make sure I pick him up. And then, wait, is there 2 consoles? Hold on a second. Bay 1, Bay 2. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I do this right the first time without having to struggle through it, because this mission has already taken so long. Okay. Non-lethally, carry the body. Lighthouse to soothe the power-up device. Use the 2 control panels. Okay, optics and anatomy. Okay.
Team has completed another full instruction set.
Optics and an... Oh, okay, it'll only do it.
1,000 rotations. Reintroducing graphite.
Oh, there's the ruin. Nice. Excuse me. Give me that. Okay. And... locked. Why locked? Is it because it's still moving? Oh. Okay. Okay, now I can wait. Uh-oh. Oh, what the fuck? Why did he activate? God damn it. I saw them both running around. All right, that's fine. They probably saw me. That's why. And then here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of like... Okay, these just take a while to move. That's the problem. Yeah, fucking run. You're fucking joking. Alright, yeah, I just heard him activate again. Maybe it's because they saw Jindosh? So let me come over here. We're gonna put Jindosh down here. And we're gonna change this one to anatomy.
What is this thing?
And this other one is pacing above me here, so I'm gonna stay here until it finishes. And the ad break started. Son of a bitch. Ding dong. I see it. I see it. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just really enjoying this game. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry, chat. All right. I'll be back in a couple minutes. I need to run to the bathroom really badly. Please and thank you. And I will leave y'all with the iPad. Have fun, kids. Sorry, I really want to finish this mission. It's stressing me out, okay? All right, what happened? Who died? Sorry that took so long. I ran to the bathroom and then I went and nibbled on some leftover dinner from last night. What happened? Y'all failed? Are Yui and Axia the only ones playing? How could you guys? How could you rely on them to do all the work? All right, guys, let me put that away. Cease the music. All right, let's do this. Let's get back to waiting harder. Oh, this is where we came in. It's still moving. I don't know how to disable the robots. I don't remember if I ever found out how they were supposed to be able to be disabled before. Okay. So now... There it is. So we've brought up anatomy. Brought anatomy up in bay 2. So then now we need to bring up optics. No. You don't see shit. Hi, Maki. What's wrong? Why fingy touchies? How are you doing? Quickest way to drop assassinate them, I believe. Oh, you can drop assassinate them? Okay, that's actually really, well, not on the side that he's facing. You want Marin head pats? Is something wrong? Are you okay? Is this the chair? I don't know if that's the chair.
With this machine, maybe you won't have to die after all, Jindosh.
Okay.
General Detection State. Anton Sokolov, once the royal physician.
Oh, Jesus! Oh my god, my fucking heart! Actually, why did I do that? I have an idea.
Playback. Detection registered. Once the royal physician and head
Come downstairs.
Return to idle. Natural philosophy. In your
No?
prime, the most sought after painter in all the empire. My hero in younger days. Now,
Damn it. Damn it.
this playback indicates some detection without certainty.
Against me. Get on with it, Jindosh. Though I'm not sure what you hope to accomplish. I must admit to feeling a bit of professional curiosity as to the function of the apparatus.
We're just gonna kind of sneak around underneath him. We're doing this really carefully. Yeah, because the robots kind of suck, like a lot.
Has anyone ever loved the sound of his own voice as much as you do, Kieran? Perhaps the device could tell us that.
No, sadly, it cannot. But what it can.
Oh, the whale oil. I forgot about the whale oil over there. All right. Clockwork Mansion, one of the best designed levels in gaming history. I think it's really cool, but we're doing the silence achievement. So we're doing this where Jindosh does not know we are here, even now that he's unconscious. It is non-lethal run, and we are doing a ghost run.
Bothered by any more of your rambling?
Okay. Yep. I just closed his mouth. Oh, la, la, la.
you doing? Anything! I'll give you anything you want! Stop! Don't do this! So much will be lost!
Oh, so his plan was to essentially reset Sokolov.
Okay, the machine has detected.
Too bad it had
Eliminated.
to come to this, Jindosh.
Okay, he's not dead. Okay. I got nervous there for a second.
And if I combine the acid against a copper plate, what does it do?
Okay.
I knew that.
Now it's time for the assessment chamber.
Does anyone know the answer?
Okay, I'm also pretty sure now that he is already in. Actually, we can just use the elevator now. Round 2. We are. I'm trying to think of how if I wanted to go back and get that black thing, but yeah, we're gonna go up. We're gonna go see his office. Maybe I could find something useful there. Oh, we were just in his fucking office. I'm stupid. I want to leave. Maintenance. No, assessment. It must have been the wind. Must have been the wind. Must have been the wind. Definitely was the wind. Okay. Now, I think typically... Gimme. Thank you. Coin? Give coin? Hello? I'm sitting here trying to get it. Okay. Oh, hi. Okay. I got stuck on the wall. Okay. Give me... Yeah, still full on that. That's fine. Okay. I don't see anyone else. Now, another thing that happens here is I think... Sokolov is gone. We already got the achievements. I could technically pull the lever. But see, there's a guy in there.
The machine is recharging the magnetic coil.
Could I? I don't think I can technically, like, break this glass above him. Nope. Okay, so we do have to do this the most annoying way possible. Wait, what is that? Okay, hold on a second. I will take that stun mine. Oh! Oh shit!
People am I gonna see get hanged this month?
Whew! Imagine just not an animated series similar to Arcane. Oh my god, I would kill for it. Look at this fucking dork.
Make a note. Remove this playback after the final field test.
Why does this Jindosh guy even need us? No one
Looks like this robot also, I didn't realize it before, but it looks like it has 2 cones.
My nerves are shot. Something unsavory going on. I'm getting good and drunk after this.
Pardon me. Coming with me. Let's. Oh, god damn it! You know what?
When this plays, check central rotor.
Let me see if... I don't think there's like a secret way in, right? I think I absolutely have to open this door.
1,000 rotations. Reintroducing graphite.
What do we got? Deactivate all magnetic or mechanical devices while the assessment chamber is in use. Nothing must interfere with my delicate calibrations. Okay. It's just... I feel like with how big this area is and how much you just have like the big open top, I feel like there's gotta be... There's a charm here? Totally missed this one. Nope. Blast resistance. I'm censored! I've been more pixelated. Oh shit. Hi, Acequake, how are you doing? Where was it? Radius slightly larger. Less damage from explosives. We're not really getting blown up that often, so we're still pretty good. Regular order divided. Serkonos paid a surprise visit this week to officials of the Grand Palace, delivering a message that calls into doubt the Order's formerly held position on the illegitimacy of our new Empress, Delilah Cauldron. It seems that there is an intense disagreement between the sects of the secretive organization. Not full reversal, the visit to the Grand Palace prompted the following statement from Duke Luca Abel. It pleased me that the Sisters of the Oracle Order have come closer to endorsing our beloved Empress Delilah Cauldron. A recent and valiant coup, in art he calls it a coup, just flat out, is an attempt at restoring just rule to the Empire, and I advise the Oracle Order and the ever-stubborn Abbey of the Everyman to immediately embrace Delilah as Empress, accepting her wisdom and authority. We thank the Oracular Sisters for delivering this vision, and we call for a day of celebration. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. All right, I guess I gotta go in. Female overseers? Yes, they are. I believe it's either the mission after this one or another one.
Where did those rats come from?
Navigation assessment 67. The unit will demonstrate to a changing environment.
God, I want to wait for this guy to pace somewhere else. Because now I also have to do this mission while avoiding this dude. Oh. Oh shit, nope.
Why does this Jindosh guy even need us? No one comes here. Oh, I'll never get used to it.
All right, come here, loser. Whew. I think that's sun mine that I didn't pick up again earlier. I know. Yeah, there's the other guy way down there. All right, let's do this. With the drunken man. What shall we do with the drunken man? What shall we do with the drunken man? All right.
The machine has completed another full instruction set.
Okay. Ah, shit.
The machine has completed another full instruction set.
So this thing will be completely disabled with 2 stun mines, right? Yay or nay? If I can completely disable this schmuck, that would be so much easier.
Make a note. Remove this playback after the final field test.
Okay. And now we play the waiting game. And hope this works.
The machine has completed another full instruction.
Okay, I'm gonna say yay, even though I have zero clue. Yeah. Hi, Kevin. How are you doing? We're playing this. We have to play this slow because we're doing Ghost. And this is... There's only one soldier in here, if I remember right. So if we disable him, this turns it on fucking easy mode.
This world is what you need, where the monsters roam and the demons all feed.
Seriously? Okay. He's pacing back. This is fine. Jump in and raid, but sorry, that's totally all right. I hope you had a good time playing Master Duel. Have a good night. Thank you for the raid. Sorry for the jump scare. You're good, you're good, you're good. Okay, let's see if that's... Okay, we're still good. Oh! Oh, you're fucking joking. Thank God! Huh. Okay, I'm just glad I had the upgrade that makes that thing, essentially makes it, what's the word? Gives it a really long range. Also, I'm gonna fucking fast save? Jesus. Smack, bitch. Oh. Grim Alex. I think this is also the first time it's called Grim Alex. Note, Anton Sokolov. Oh, from Kieran. I hope this not a clockwork soldier outside your cell doesn't disturb your rest. I find the solid footballs and gentle electric hum to be soothing, but you may be of a different opinion. In fact, in your condition, the noise might be maddening, especially since the pressure plate for the exit to your cell is positioned tantalizingly within reach. But should you attempt to venture forth from the assessment chamber like some wrinkled, gay-whiskered gay, why did I say gay? Fell apart like it was made out of Legos? Thank God. Goose! But hunting through the labyrinth for a morsel of cheese, you will soon find your stoic guardian bearing down on you. You're an intelligent man. I'm sure I don't need to illustrate. Okay, so if I hadn't taken care of it, it likely would have come running straight at us. If I didn't. Anton! Uh-oh. Twitch chat is loading.
Emily Kaldwin, if you're here, things have gone further than I thought. But
I mean, yeah.
Jindosh?
Is that a burn? Does he have a burn on his face?
His mind is not what it was.
You were an interesting little girl. You've become a fascinating woman.
I could have swore we were supposed to be able to get him back. Okay, he's just unconscious. Come on, bud. Is that not it? Okay, we just have to do it in reverse then. That's fine. Okay. It looks like these second ones, yeah, they always make the same layout, so we can still get to the exit here. Okay. My Amazon ads be all over the place. What are they like? Okay. The thing is, right now, there is still a dude at the end of this hall. So I'm sorry, Anton, but your stroked out ass is gonna have to wait here for a second.
Soldiers moving walls. Most people are happy just doing a job.
Come on, buddy. You gotta move. Wait, what is this? Oh, an alarm clock. Don't mind if I do. Time to launch him out a window? No, we can't do that. Nap time. Thanks, bud. Okay. So... the thing is now, technically, we could move everything. I don't want to, though. I really don't want to. Okay, guest area? Floor are we on? I'm pretty sure that's the guest area. Contamination with the... Oh, shit. Oh, you're fucking joking, dude. Please tell me I can get him before he comes in.
Oh.
Let's go, slut! Get in your box. All right. Oh, hey, give me that. Oh, shit. Oh, I was full. It works for me. I'm sure this is fine. Excuse me, pardon me, places to go. Thinks the NVMe drives make sense. Edible, what? Replacement drivetrain for a Jeep Wrangler? I don't own a Jeep. Ooh, tiki masala. Tiki masala. All right, I think we just... Eh, he's dead. Oh, those are the heads. Oh, he's not dead, but he's indisposed, if you will. Oh! God damn it! God damn it! Oh, what the shit? Wait, whose path was that? Okay, maybe I don't. I wonder. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go do it the other way. We are gonna take the way we came in. Just right through here. Please excuse me. And then we can just hop up here. Then... yeah, okay. Oh, shit. Anton! I'm sorry! Alright. Isn't we good? Now he will be dead? He's snoring loudly. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Also, wait, Twitch has ads for fucking edible lingerie? I could understand, like, what is it? Adam and Eve or whatever it's called, maybe? Oh, okay, it just ports this here. All the way to the lower Avanta district, I think, right? I think that's... oh, wait a second. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I'm pretty sure something happens now when we get back. Directly in you shop. Oh, that explains it. While watching streams? Is that what we're snacking on? Are you snacking on lingerie, chat? That's your prerogative, but not one of my favorite treats. Okay.
kissed your kids goodbye this morning?
Who said that? Let's go, Anton. Oh! Whose shadow was that? I think that was just a rat. I think I just got scared by a rat, chat.
Nah, not this time.
Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Son of a bitch. Alright. Some specialized video ads. Oh. Because I could have swore we fucking cleaned this section up. Whew.
I missed the time when I could go to sleep without wondering if I'd wake up.
I hope you kissed your kids goodbye this morning.
Ah, these are the witches. Okay, oh, there's one right there, too. Okay, let's do this. So yeah, now the witches are here. So... oh, fuck. Cancel that. Quick save. And we're gonna do... hello?
Fresh air really helped.
Okay. Keeps thinking of a woman in a failing relationship and I want to spice up my roommate's life. Joke's on them. I'm in no relationship. Listen, it's fine.
Got no idea.
Oh my god.
You are a nuisance to the city. Didn't anybody tell you?
I don't know. Did anybody tell you?
I can feel her spirit touching mine.
Oh, perfect.
Has to be something nice.
I'm gonna double check just so that it doesn't like... nap time. Oh, Mariah, take Heather and Kay, travel to Karnaca tonight. The others there will give you a roof to sleep under. They will keep you out of sight. Watch for our friend from Dunwall. When the moment comes, strike. If you succeed, I promise you will be rewarded. And beyond that, I'll make you a portrait. Yours, Empress forever, Delilah. Okay. Now we got to do the annoying part. And that's go back and get, you know, our buddy. I think it's now though, is I'm also pretty certain that I can't teleport with him, right? I can't blink or anything. Can I far reach with him? Oh shit! You know what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I just need to get better at like messing with the time parts. Here, let me really quick. far reach. They use far reach. Okay, it does pull both of us. Because I think with blink you drop whoever you're holding. So this is a little bit better. I say a little bit, it's actually a lot better. At least while you're carrying someone, because otherwise blink if you're by yourself is so much better. Okay. I think that went great. This is the longest shit mission though. How about your friends?
You did it. How is he? He's frail and wounded, but he'll recover. I didn't think it was possible.
Okay, but what about like kind of
must have a story to tell.
Mentally, like is he still okay after is he gonna be okay after the electroshock therapy?
Let's go then.
Oh god, the water splash. Let's go. All right. So I think after this one, the next hardest one is gonna be the fucking time one. The time one I remember sucking absolute ass for stealth. And the only way, like... We're in the void, aren't we? Okay, that's the musician's farewell again, just to double check. Just make sure you have it recorded. This isn't the void, I know. Hi, Ren, thank you for the lurk.
But somehow different this time.
Hello? Hello?
Surprised I can pull you into this place? The outsider marked me long ago.
I don't really care, but also I feel like if you're doing a ghost run, I feel like you should have a different ending where like nobody suspects you of anything. So it is odd that they think I'm here, even though technically I have never once been noticed.
Emperor Coldwin had another daughter born in shame to a kitchen maid.
Am I dreaming? If not, how is Delilah doing this?
Who knows? Things are a fuck.
I told you. You're older. I've missed you.
You said that last year. Jessica's younger than me, and she's a court every day.
True.
It's complicated. We'll understand someday.
What did I do? I'll be good. I swear.
Next year, I promise.
He's lying! All right. What now? Hello? Hi.
During the day, Jessamine and I played games in the tower. But at night, I'd go back to the servants' quarters to cockroaches and thin gruel. Emperor Daddy
I wonder why she never mentioned
tell
him.
me if I was good.
Probably because they didn't think they'd get a second game.
To come to court to be a princess. Then one day.
Hey there,
Jessamine
Delilah.
broke
What's it
something
like in Dunwall
and
Tower?
the spymaster caught us.
God damn it, Spare. You had to do that to me. I saw you say it earlier and it didn't click at the time.
My mother lost her kitchen job, and that night we were out on the streets with no place to sleep. I didn't bring it.
Would you like to tell me the name?
We were just playing.
Young Lady Jessie. What is your account?
It was her. Delilah's lie. She broke it.
What the fuck? Ah, children. Ah, children.
Mother and I saw the nastiest parts of Dunwall, ending up in debtor's prison. Jessamine died quick
Oh,
on an
right.
assassin's blade, but my mother lingered for
Yeah, back
weeks
when
after a fat
being
guard
poor was a
broke her jaw.
crime.
They threw me out when she died. I looked up at the lights of Dunwall Tower and swore revenge. Washing
shit.
bed
Hold on.
sheets in a brothel, I painted on the side until Anton Sokolov took me as a student. That's the polite word.
Wait, what?
I was crafty even before the outsider marked me, and survived the worst the Empire could offer. Now it's your turn.
The hell was that sound?
My mother's sick. She needs help.
Down, killed her / trapped her in the void. Yep.
He's another bag of bones now, girl.
What? No.
Your sentence is served and you'll be tossed out with the others. You can't stay here anymore.
What? Wait. Portal!
It's hard to know whether my dear old aunt is telling the truth or not.
I mean, she could be. Thing is, though, is I've played this game twice at least. Once on stream, once when I first got it.
The loyalist conspiracy that kidnapped me also took Anton Sokolov.
Yeah.
They brought him to the pub where I was being held.
That is
They
a
locked him in
stoic man.
cage for dogs. And you know what? Sokolov laughed at them. He taught me lessons and told me funny stories.
Yeah.
He seemed immortal.
Yeah, because it's still chaos.
His mind shaped our age. That's changed. The old man I rescued doesn't talk much. He eats what we give him, groans in his sleep, coughs out blood.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what happens when you go through
saving the Empire.
intentionally damaging electrotherapy.
I'm not even sure he knows where he is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I figured if I haven't had the ending where I've like spared Delilah, so I'm very curious. I don't remember how the non-lethal part for Delilah works at the end of this game. So that will be a new experience. Oh.
Even in the void, if only I could do more.
Mother?
Hi, Mom.
That wasn't a dream, was it?
Am I to blame for Delilah's bitterness?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
She's the one who orchestrated the
No. Well, not entirely to blame, but you are part of the reason. It is definitely partly childhood grudge. So, I mean, like... Oh, the drawing of Anton. Okay.
Push out into the harsh world. You are alone, but for a few hours.
Wait, what was that? Does that look like one of the bags from Prey for some reason? I thought for a split second I saw... Oh.
Clever man.
Not clever enough. What's wrong with people like that?
A restless mind and an empty heart, perhaps. Jindosh would have snuffed me out as soon as he got bored. I appreciate what Emily did for me.
I don't know Duke Luca Abel, but Corvo served under Luca's father and said Theodanis was a...
Oh, okay, I can't take that. That's not a painting I can take. All right.
They kept...
Let's do a hard save because we have not done one this entire time. I'm gonna do 2, just to be sure. Just to be sure. But that's gonna be it. I wanted to do more than one mission today, but that mission took way longer than it was supposed to. I do apologize for that, guys. That just means we get to play Dishonored 2 a lot more. So let me move right on over. Hello. Hello. Like the Corroded Man, which I think serves as a prequel book to this. Oh, okay. That's actually kind of interesting. I like that. All right, guys. We are going to be back tomorrow, noon CDT, because apparently daytime savings is a fucking thing. But we need to find who we are going to raid. Is anybody doing anything spooky or slightly related? Come on. Off hours? Why is Seggy's stream just called Off Hours? He's just playing Marvel Rival. Okay. Art. Shattering Honkai Star Rail. Something. Chatting. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna raid Zozo. Also, who was that? McKirby99. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Everybody knows that the greatest Kirby game of all time is Kirby Air Riders. So, you know, with Kirby Riders coming out for the Switch 2, you already know we're about to get the second greatest game of all time, nerds. After hours, don't go to showtimes at 3 a.m. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, guys, if you want to nerd out, do hang out with Zozo a little bit. She's been working hard. She recently had surgery, so she's stuck at home. It looks like right now she's nerding out about 40K. Specifically, I think third-party 40K models. But, like I said, we'll be yapping tomorrow. We'll have a lot of shit to talk about. We'll probably do some food stuff, because I like to relax tomorrow a little bit. But until then, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. And thank you for enjoying the show. Till next time, though, Have a good night. Later. What do we want to do for a raid message? Crime brulee? Crime brulee? Maybe we'll just do the crime brulee. That'll work for now. Later, guys.